to you about tonight. Some of it you're going to have to go over to YouTube to get because I'm going to be doing a special recording for that. But in the meantime, I trust that you would stay tuned to us and let us have a conversation on some real issues that are confronting the Jamaican people. That you can depend on us for solid analysis. We bring it to you here every evening, Monday to Friday, between 7 o'clock and, of course, 10 o'clock. Now, let's welcome our friends over on YouTube. Good evening to you, YouTube. Hope you had a great day. What did you do for your Labor Day? Welcome, everybody. I am going to start off by playing for you the Prime Minister's presentation.
So sometimes you have things that are common.
On Labor Day. And I'm going to use that to set the pace for what I am going to be talking to you about. I spent today researching this guy Marvin, and I was forced to find out who is Marvin because of some arguments I'm hearing about a petition that there is a petition that Marvin is actually asking Jamaicans to sign. And it is very interesting to listen to Marvin. Marvin is a comrade. Marvin is a comrade, and therefore, I don't know if one should expect anything better from him. But it is interesting to listen to Marvin. I'll have some more to say on that in the program. Let me say good evening to Caroline. Good evening to you, Caroline. Let me turn this up a little. I could not find my link for
YouTube.
For YouTube. I was using the link for Sunday. So that's why I'm late. I've been here from 10 minutes to 7 o'clock trying to get on. And I just realized that I was using the wrong link. So we're all sorted out now. You can go ahead and say good evening to YouTube.
Have you heard of a thing called communication?
Well, I don't know what I should communicate because I was told that the link that I was sent is just for Sunday. So I didn't know that. I thought a link.
Next time, please call.
Okay. Yeah, I thought a link was a link.
How was your day?
Boy, very busy. I made several trips today. There's a little project I'm working on, and so I was hard at work today, moving things here and there, and didn't get through everything, but I think we are 90% there.
Okay, great. Well, that is good news, Mabel.
Yes.
That means you're making progress.
Yes.
Okay,
of course,
great.
we are broadcasting from a new location.
Uh-huh.
I have not gotten a chance to put in the teleprompter. Can you help me with one?
I'll think about it.
Okay, all right. What a response! Okay, yeah, but we're here, and we're gonna have to work on that. And there are some other little things that I'm sure that we can talk about that off the air. If you notice, Okay, no problem. But go ahead and say good evening to the listeners and tell them what to do.
Neighbor, are we live on YouTube?
We're live. Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. On YouTube, TikTok, X, and Patreon. Thanks for joining us. Trust that you all had a great day. For those on TikTok, asking you all to tap the screen, share the live, repost the live. Please send us the heart knees and support the live goals. Okay? Thanks. Have a great show, neighbor.
Thank you so much. All right. Here is the Prime Minister. By the way,
Me?
no. I want to talking to the listeners. There is clearly need to support the government. There is a great need to support the Prime Minister and support the government. Listen to the Prime Minister as he spoke to the Jamaican people on Labor Day. Listen.
Sense. And sometimes you have things that are common nonsense. Not everything that appears urgent is wise, and not everything that is wise appears immediately. So I want you to ruminate on that. The obvious can mislead, and wisdom requires deeper judgment. Some may assume that because funds that were donated were not immediately exhausted, that somehow this was irresponsible. I start there because I received a note from a concerned citizen, an elderly lady, from this constituency, who said, Prime Minister, you have to address this issue because I can't explain it to the people in my community why the government got $1.4 billion and never spent it. It's the hottest thing on the ground in terms of criticism of the government. It is, on the face of it, a common sense criticism. If you get $1.4 billion and 100,000 Jamaicans have been assessed as in need, spend it. I reflected on what I would say, because these days there's nothing that you say that is not critiqued unjustly, unfairly, unreasonably, and oftentimes misrepresented. Fake news and alternative facts, if not sometimes just downright lies to mislead. But that can't deter the response, because my job is to explain to the people, engage the people, and again, I've repeated this thing, the battle for the minds, right? Because there are those.
All right, stop it there. You hear that? The battle for the minds. That is the new battle in Jamaica. The battle for the minds of the people. And what Marvin is doing, supported by the People's National Party, is distasteful. And I'm going to point out to you later on the vacuum largely created by the PNP, that Marvin is seeking to exploit. But I must make a criticism of the governing Jamaica Labour Party, because I don't get the feeling, apart from the Prime Minister himself, and to a lesser extent, Marlon Morgan, that the government has a strategy to deal with propaganda. I'm not talking about misinformation. You have disinformation, and you have misinformation, and you have propaganda. we're already 27 minutes after 7 o'clock, and I don't think that I will have the time to get through all of this. But I don't see the propaganda counteract strategy. And as a national patriot, I'm going to suggest some ways that the government can counteract this propaganda. But I want to define for you the problem Jamaica faces. And I may as well tell you that Hurricane Melissa left a vacuum in the society. Hurricane Melissa left a scar on the Jamaican society. And it's deeply psychological. And it is into that vacuum that Marvin has come. Marvin found a gap in the psychological healing of the nation. The search for identity. The scar left by the hurricane. The search for meaning, for solutions. And Marvin is exploiting it. I'm going to show that to you. And you know, Lashika was on this program last night, and Lashika raised some important issues, you know, that bears discussing. I am sorry, we don't get into Ray over here. I'll tell you the truth. This is a serious platform. And this is prime time. And I'm not here to joke. I'm here to tell you real things, okay? Let's go back to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister spoke yesterday.
So sometimes you have things that are common sense, and sometimes you have things that are common nonsense. Not everything that appears urgent is wise, and not everything that is wise appears immediately. So I want you to ruminate on that. The obvious can mislead, and wisdom requires deeper judgment. Some may assume that because funds that were donated were not immediately exhausted, that somehow this was irresponsible. I start there because I received a note from a concerned citizen, an elderly lady, from this constituency, who said, Prime Minister, you have to address this issue because I can't explain it to the people in my community why the government got $1.4 billion and never spent it.
You heard that? Marlon Morgan was on this program. Marlon Morgan has been all over the place explaining it. And the people not get it yet. You know why them not get it? You have to stay tuned. You can't run, go nowhere. Share the live. Tap the screen. Tell all of your neighbors that neighbor is here. Draw them bench. Draw your cup of coffee. Take out your juice and don't go nowhere. Don't flip the screen. Don't scroll. Not go nowhere. Stay right where you're there. Stay here tonight and learn something. Understand what is happening in your country. Yeah? Share the light. Come on. Let's get this. Let's get 1,000 people up here listening to us tonight. Tell them all over the place. Say, come over, neighbor. Come here, Wagwan. All right? Go ahead with the Prime Minister.
The hottest thing on the ground in terms of criticism of the government. It is, on the face of it, a common sense criticism. If you get $1.4 billion and 100,000 Jamaicans have been assessed as in need, spend it. I reflected on what I would say, because these days there's nothing that you say that is not critiqued unjustly, unfairly, unreasonably, and oftentimes misrepresented. Fake news and alternative facts, if not sometimes just downright lies to mislead. But that can't deter the response, because my job is to explain to the people, engage the people, and again, I've repeated this thing, the battle for the minds, right? Because there are those who are out there just simply trying to get falsehood into your minds. And I want to give you some facts as we discuss the issue as a family. The government of Jamaica is projected to spend 67 billion Jamaican dollars on the hurricane relief and recovery. $67 billion. A large part of that would be the loan that we gave to the JPS so that you could have got back electricity faster than ever before in the history of restoration after any disaster in Jamaica. That was a strategic decision. It was highly criticized. Why is the government lending money to JPS? But the recovery was quick.
I know this is lengthy, but it is the Prime Minister speaking. And you need to listen. Just listen to the Prime Minister. It's very important that, especially you labor rights, and I know that a lot of you are over here. Listen to the Prime Minister. For God's sake, listen. Just listen to what I'm saying. That's making a lot of sense. Eh? He's making a lot of sense.
Water and electricity came back very quickly. Very strategic. We thought about it. We thought deeply about it. We looked at the ramifications, and we took some good decisions. We have deployed out of that $67 billion, $10 billion for the roofs program, and close to 50,000 Jamaicans have been getting support through that program. Through the NHT, almost $2 billion has been spent, and that is not included in the $67 billion. We are spending on the repair of schools. And as you go across Jamaica, you see several schools being repaired, repairs of hospitals and clinics, that is being repaired. The restoration of road connectivities, that is being done. And the removal of debris, that was a massive expenditure. We have never had to deal with that level of debris before in the history of Jamaica. When you look at Independence Park here and what it was and the market, government doesn't get credit for that because it's our job. That's what we must do. But we have to tackle this view that government isn't doing anything or that nothing has been done. And that is patently untrue. We can point to everything that we have done. But if you don't listen with discernment, you may fall into the trap of believing nothing was done. In all of that has happened, there has been no break in the national security of the country. Country is moving on, resilient, we're back up and we're going. This is not to say there isn't, there are problems, obviously, but you're back up. I will say this to you. Jamaica got more foreign aid under Hurricane Gilbert than it got under Hurricane Melissa. It's a different time. Jamaica has a stand.
You hear that? Jamaica got more foreign aid at Gilbert? Huh? Jamaica got more foreign aid during Gilbert than it got for Melissa? My God, this is breaking news. How many people knew that? How many people knew that? Let me tell you something. The People's National Party is a problem. The problem Jamaica faces is the party opposite the government of Jamaica. And a lot of people will not like when I say that. Scratchy love to say that for Jamaica to grow, that the PNP must go. And fellow Jamaicans, when I tell you tonight that a big part of our problem is the politics of the People's National Party, it is true. And if something is not done about it, you can't sit down there. The People's National Party is antithetical to the development of Jamaica. We are suffering here. We are suffering because of them. They are not in government, but the Jamaicans are still suffering because of the comrades. How can a party be not in government and still have the people under such sufferation? If you stay tuned to this program, I'll show you how. I'll tell you how. What a bam bam. I'm going to say it again. Jamaica's problem is not that we don't have resources. It's not that we don't have leadership. It's not that we don't have a good prime minister. We have the PNP. The PNP is not good for Jamaica. And you know, I heard some people on a program talking about neighbor no labor right. Well, I must be a member of your family. If I am not a labor right, I'm a member of your family. You know who I be? I don't want to start no controversy. Okay? I must be a member of your family. You must know me. You know me. I heard people talking, oh, him not even vote in the last election. Mr. Warmington, no anybody will vote for him. A bright to no bright. Talk about dirty belly neighbor. Oh boy, I tell you something. Them go burn out dirty belly neighbor. Well, dirty belly neighbor there. Dirty belly neighbor. There you few. Oh my God, I tell you something. Anyway, put fun and joke aside. The problems of 21st century Jamaica in 2026 is not that we lack resources. Is that the party opposite is bereft of morals, ethics, and they are downright bad. Downright bad. And Jamaicans, labor rights, and me you don't criticize. You taking me on? What bad have I done to the Labour Party since I have come on this program? Talk about it. How have I hurt the Labour Party? I am not your problem. What if you talk about you not talk about that? When you spend whole time talk about neighbor. Yeah? I'm not your problem. What problem am I doing? How am I hurting the Jamaica Labour Party? I come here every flipping night trying to open the people's eyes. Why not talk about Marvin? He has 1,000 people over there misleading them, getting them to sign petition. I have anybody signing petition? Am I against Andrew Holness and his government? What the hell? For 1 year, I ran listen, I don't need to defend myself. I don't want to waste no more time. Asking
everyone to repost the live, please.
The country is stuck. And I am asking you to listen to the Prime Minister. And when I listen to Mr. Holness, I listen to a man that is asking his supporters to stand up with him, to stand up and support him, stand against misinformation, stand against disinformation, stand against propaganda. And what do? You sit down all evening and talk about dirty belly neighbor, like me, I run for politics.
On its own 2 feet that do its own thing from our budget, $67 billion. Do you know how much we got in donation?
Let's see if we can turn this on. Let's see if we can turn that on.
How much was it? $1.4 billion. How much? What percentage is that of 67 billion? Almost $70 billion. It's about 2% here. I want you to put things in context. You also have to consider that we assessed close to 100,000 persons as being in need, and we are giving the maximum grant of $500,000. If we had given the $1.4 billion in grants, how many Jamaicans would get 500,000? About 2,500. So let me again put some more context to the conversation, and then you will begin to see that the common sense may not be so sensible after all. We got $400 million in building materials that we got from the private sector here, and I commend those who contributed to the building materials. I commend as well the government of Guyana, who contributed significantly to that. I want you to walk with me. Do you know how many roofs we have put on so far? The JDF is here. 500 roofs have been restored. You know how much it is to restore a roof? To put on a room and a half or 2 rooms, which is about what we do. It's just about $1 million or more. And we still projected to have some more roofs to put on. And that does not include the labor. And that is why we asked the JDF and we asked for international support. And at this point, I think I should say that it is the first time that Jamaica has received assistance directly from our African brothers and sisters who have come here, sent their troops here to assist in a tangible way. And we requested it. We asked for it. When I went to the G20 and for the relationships that I have cultivated on the continent, we had the Rwandans come and we had Ghana come, and they helped us significantly. And I want to here publicly say thank you to them. And of course, thank you to the Guyanese Defense Force who helped us to restore roofs. And thanks to our own Jamaica Defense Force who did an amazing job in restoring roofs. All of those materials, $400 million worth of materials, they had to be trucked.
All right, hold on. The Prime Minister is now going on to talk about logistics. 500 roof repair in Jamaica. How much Mark Golding put on? 500 roof have been repaired. 500 people that did not have roof have on back their roof. And you know who put it on? The Jamaica Defense Force. And a $500,000 $100,000 to put on one roof. My God, man, this. Let me tell you something, you know. Let me tell you something in Jamaica, you know, brother. You know, good me I tell you, you know, lie, you know, lie, you know, lie. PNP, you know, lie, you know, lie, you know, lie. So till God Almighty, we need prayer in other country here. We need prayer. This is a spiritual warfare. This is more than we can bear. Them are wicked. Them are wicked. And the struggling, suffering people of Jamaica are being woodwinked and being led down a rabbit hole and a propaganda line. And the bloggers are calling you out. Are calling you out before you go turn up and help on the party. Fight against the propaganda. You know, keep discussion about neighbor. That is what you must go talk about. The liar PNP them. I try to deceive the Jamaican people. The Prime Minister put on 500 roof. No, pian roof at a cost of $500,000. That's $500,000, you know. But let me ask the why we not see some of them picture here on the media? Why we not see some of them picture here on the media about the roof them that the people them have and the people them saying how much them appreciate them getting back them roof? Huh? Why we not see some on the media? I beg you to listen to me tonight and I beg you to bear with me because we have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover. And I know you want to come up and talk to us. But we have to do this for our people. We have to do it for our country. And we have to do it for the government of Jamaica. And we have to do it as patriotic Jamaicans. Interested in truth and honesty. Because that is what we are about. About truth and honesty. Because someone must stand up against someone like Marvin and Caution and Andre Stevens and Voice of the Nation. They are liars. They're liars. And they have conspired, not against Andrew Holness. And I keep telling you this every day. There's no conspiracy against Andrew Holness. The conspiracy is against the people of Jamaica. The poor and the underprivileged. Those who did not have the benefit of an education. Those who can't think for themselves. That's where the conspiracy is. And that's why it's so wicked. What is happening in Jamaica today is wickedness. Undiluted, diabolical. And as I thought about it today, I said to myself, no man, this is spiritual attack. This is not just elementary stuff. This is an attack. A spiritual attack. This conspiracy is from the pit of hell. And some of you, you are agents of the devil. Some of you are agents of the devil who now work for Satan. As Satan said, no come here. Satan now working through you. As Satan, agents of the devil. Some of these bloggers online, they are agents of the devil. And I'm going to call you can't manage me. Because I tell you the truth. I hear one man saying that he's been led by the Spirit. He's been led by the Spirit. Which Spirit? Which Spirit you lead by, son? Which Spirit? Must see some dopey down at St. Thomas. Not the Spirit of God. Okay. Let's go back to the Prime Minister. Listen to it.
From where they were either imported or in warehouses in Kingston, they had to be trucked here, and what else had to happen to them? The officers here from the JDF, they had to be stored. They had to be managed. They had to be secured. In other words, there's an entire logistics operation. So what you hear is roofs constructed, but you don't see all that goes in to have all those trucks move the materials here, to have them stored and secured. Now, the Auditor General report said, well, there was an administrative failure in the management of the material, meaning that when the materials are brought into store, they should be signed by both the JDF and ADPEM. And that is a fact. It didn't say the materials were stolen, but there was an administrative accounting failure. And why did that failure occur? As you are listening to it, all you are hearing is that they thief the material. But why did that occur? Well, for a simple reason. The JDF operates 24 hours, ADPEM operates 9 to 5, but the truckers are carrying in the material when? They're not carrying in the day when there's traffic and congestion. They're trying to get here using the least congested time. So by the time they reach here, ADPEM people are gone home. It's only JDF here to sign. But you see how it is positioned in your minds. Now I want you to think again. In December, or late November, I addressed in a press conference this whole business of how we will treat with donated funds. And I said then that donated funds will be used to purchase building materials. It will be used to purchase things that are tangible, traceable, and for which it's easy to account. Impactful. That was the decision. I want you to bear that in mind. That was in a press release from JIS. You can go and see it. It was said. Press release was on the 1st of December, 2025. Now, I tell you a little bit about myself. I went to the University of the West Indies, and whilst I was there as a student, they used to keep a big party there. The Students' Union, the guild would put it on. Spectrum. People from my era would know. And
bear with me as we listen to the Prime Minister. It is a very important presentation the Prime Minister is making because, and as I said earlier, the Prime Minister need help, you know. Prime Minister alone can't do it. Prime Minister need help. Prime Minister is very good at explaining stuff to people. Listen to him.
Almost every year, there would be some challenge with the accounting for Spectrum. My university friends know this joke, that this is nothing to do with the University of the West Indies. They would try to account for the gate receipts versus the profits. And they would say, you know, why is it that the number of tickets sold was so much, but yet the profit is so low? What did you spend the money on? And they would say, well, spend it on ice. So where's the ice? Why it melt. And that is why we are not spending the money on anything that anybody can say, boy.
Let me make a point here. The People's National Party have lots of propagandists. The Jamaica Labour Party team need to roll out labor rights. You have to roll out now. This country is being governed by a man that cares about his country. Don't make nobody fool you. Juliet Holness is a good prime minister. He's a caring Prime Minister. He's an intelligent man, and he's going to go down in history, no matter what you hear people say, as Jamaica's best Prime Minister. I don't think he can be better. Well, not in my lifetime. Not in my lifetime. And he needs help. He needs help to spread the truth. Too much lying in Jamaica. Too much liars. And we need to do better. The side of the Labour Party. I'm not talking about senators and members of parliament and councillors. I'm talking about supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party. We have to do better in ensuring that the message of the party, the performance of the government, is told to the people. The government is doing well, you know. The government is doing very, very well. Don't make nobody fool you. So we have about 5 more minutes left of the Prime Minister, and I think that it is important for us to listen, because he makes some very important points at the end there that I want you to hear. Listen on.
It meant we're not spending it on things that you cannot properly trace. When we fix a roof, the roof is there. You can go and measure it. You can see it. You didn't eat it today, go to the bathroom afterwards, and then you come back and say you never get anything. Roof is there. You see the context now? Remember what was the criticism on the ground? The criticism was that we have a thief the money. Remember that? That all around, including in international circles. You know, so a man think it. The people who were making those criticisms, they were in power once, and that is what they did. So they think, well, what happened now? The Auditor General come out and say, well, the money is there, but they didn't spend it fast enough. You see the context now? The money was stolen. The money is there. And for those who are going to apply common sense to it, yes, it's common sense, but think deeply. In the immediate aftermath of the hurricane, tons of immediate humanitarian relief came in. Food items, generators, tarpaulins, all kind of things came in. What was the real problem? The problem wasn't the things. What was the problem? The problem was the logistics and the process to identify people to make sure that is the needy that get it and not the greedy. Can you imagine? We took up, so you have what you need, and then you go and take the $1.4 billion that is given and go and buy more things. You think you would get it any faster going through that process? You think the trucks that we would have to put it on would get there ahead of the trucks that we took from the wharf with the goods to carry here? Think.
Listen to the Prime Minister begging Jamaicans to think. Think. You can sense that the Prime Minister is disappointed. That he's disappointed with his fellow men. Oh, what a burden this man is carrying. What a burden on Prime Minister Holness. What a burden. He's not thieving any money. All he is trying to do for the people of Jamaica is to give them a better life. The people in Westmoreland that were living in shacks are now getting container houses. Think no, man. Think no.
And therefore, we're not going to clog up the system. We made strategic decisions that the funds will be used not in the relief phase, where in the relief phase you already have items that you don't want to keep them in warehouses, they're going to spoil.
Let me ask you a question. Which other country in the world, I beg you if you answer me tonight. Tap the screen, share the live, send your heart me's, send a gift. Which other country in the world do you hear a prime minister having to explain things like this? Where parties? Tell me. Which other country in the world a prime minister have to come and explain $1.4 billion like this? Where else? You can't tell me? This is a unique society. It is an amazing society. As a matter of fact, it is embarrassing. All because of the PNP. The PNP. They're no business with we. PNP, no business with we. And that's the problem. PNP, no business with we. And Mr. Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, have to be explaining and explaining. Man, if y'all explains a truck if you carry the goods. Think about that. Which other country in the world the head of government have you come out and talk to the people like this? Oh, about $1.4 billion when get big. What a disgrace. What a shame. What a shame. We should have shame ourselves, Dominic. Let me tell you something. We should have shame ourselves. There's nothing to be proud about. We are so small-minded. Listen to me. We have been reduced. Our dignity have been removed from us. We are not a proud nation. We are not a proud nation. I tell you tonight, we should have shame ourselves that our prime minister is being reduced to this. That the prime minister have to come explain to the people of Jamaica that him not thief, none of the money. That is what he's doing. Him have to come out and come explain to the people them of Jamaica, say him and in government, not thief, none of the money. That he is using every red cent to put back the suffering, oh my God, the suffering people, the same pauperized people where the PNP keeping up poverty for decades. The Prime Minister is trying to lift them up out of poverty. And the mafia come explain what is going on. We should have shame ourselves. It's nothing to be proud about. It's a low. Let me tell you something now. Sometimes I am proud to be a Jamaican. And other times I said, no, sir, not proud at all. And this is not one of the proud moments. Prime Minister not supposed to use him Labor Day speech for explain. Say, him and in government not take none of the money. What wrong with we? What wrong with we, man? What wrong with we? When you say the PNP mash up the country, man. When you say that. When you say the PNP, I don't business with me. Listen to me. No, sister, the PNP is you know see that? They have destroyed the confidence of the people. Jamaicans don't have no trust in themselves. They don't have no trust in leadership, in leaders. Prime Minister don't want that money. You think Mr. Holness would lower himself, he got thief, hurricane relief money? Is Mr. Holness a decent man? This is Mr. Holness a decent man. You think Mr. Holness would lower himself if he got take 1.4 with company people? This man has given away more social houses than anything else. Look how the man around the country. What do them, sir? The man is hurt. And I am calling upon the labor rights tonight. Step up on the game. Step up on the game. Get on your lives. Talk about it. Play the Prime Minister. Discuss what he says. Tell the people of Jamaica what is happening. And tell the people of Jamaica, say, lie them and lie. So much to say, so little time. Let's close out this.
You get them out fast. So in the relief phase, what we tried to do was to match donated items with needs, move them as quickly as possible. But particularly for the donated funds, we want to be able to say to those people who have contributed, Jamaica has put on whatever it is, 1,000 roofs. This is the material. This is what you have spent on. That's something that you can see, tangible, accountable, traceable. So when this audit came out, we had already taken that decision, but the performance audit, the real-time audit, didn't take the policy directive that was given into account. It just made a statement which you all took. Government wasn't being inefficient. The government was being very strategic and very efficient.
And that's the type of government that Holness leads. A strategic, efficient government. Not one red cent is missing. Not one red cent.
And that is the difference between my administration and the administration you would have had if the people who are criticizing were government.
There you go. That is the difference between the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. I promise you this tonight. I promise you this, and you know see through me at all. That if the PNP had gotten their hands on $1.4 billion, it would have been a scandal in Jamaica. Mark Golding don't tell you, as the hurricane blows up, every member of parliament will get $50 million. Imagine that. All MPs were not even rain no fall enough in them constituency. I will get $50 million. Every Jamaican know that is listening to me knows it. If the PNP were in power and they got a $1.4 billion to spend, my God, you'd have a scandal in Jamaica. Not even scandal, bag over Riverton dump could have picked up the amount of scandal that would have come out of this. You and I know that. And the Auditor General audited the government's books and found every red cent. And that is not the news. That is not the news, you know. The news is that it has spent too slow. We're not a serious country. Not to mention that the government has budgeted nearly $70 billion from its budget to spend. Listen to me, listen to me, guys. Listen to me, Jamaicans. Listen to me, man. We're not a serious country. Peripheral stuff we are talking about. We're not serious about political discussions. And the bloggers, I'm disappointed, you know. I am. I am disappointed. The little that I've heard is not peripheral stuff. $1.4 billion donated. Nobody's talking about the real news, brothers and sisters, is that the government found, including $25 million to JPS from its budget, $67 billion to spend on hurricane relief. And we're quibbling about 1.4 that the government, by policy, say would go to strategic things. And Mark Bolin coming out with statement, and Julian Robinson. Go sit down, Mr. Robinson. Go sit down, Mr. Bolin. But you coming out with statement about what the money was stolen? Isn't it accounted for? People have, the government spend $67 million. And you know, think about the media. Think about how pathetic they are. Because that is, let me have a little bit of, I have some tea here. Let me have a cup of tea and calm myself down. You know what type of tea I'm drinking? I bet you never tell me. I bet you never tell me what. You know that this tea is going to get me all riled up in the studio. This tea here that I just had a sip of. You know, it's one of those tea that give you gives you oh my goodness. No, it's not green tea. Oh my God. Oh, I kind of feel, Lord have mercy, I want me to drink it for. Let's listen to the Prime Minister. No.
The country
before we go back to the Prime Minister. Mr. Bolin coming out with statement about the 1.4 billion. Rubbish. The man, Mr. Robinson. Rubbish. That it shouldn't even be on the news. We should commend the government that for the first time, a government is able to account for every red cent it collects from donations from the people who sent it. That is commendable. That is the news, that Jamaica has reached a point where every cent given to the government is accounted for. Propaganda, Andre Stevens, you hear that? Propagandist, Perry, you hear that? Propagandist, Voice of the Nation, you hear that? That is the news. Not what was not spent, but what was budgeted for by policy. It's a policy direction that the government was going to use the 1.4 in a strategic way. And that becomes the propagandist scandal. Porting them. Liars they are. And they sit on their platforms night after night, day after day, peddling falsehood. And I challenge anyone to come up here and tell me that what I'm saying is not true. Because all I'm doing is playing what the Prime Minister said.
Up in deep problems precisely because you were a generation of Jamaicans who thought they were the intellectuals who led us down a pathway of misgovernment and mismanagement. And people followed because no one took the time to explain the bad decisions. As I said, not everything that is common sense makes sense. Don't make sense. So I urge you to think carefully on these things. Very, very careful. So I hope my friend who reached out to me in great concern, listening, would understand that it was the best decision. Now, what will the funds be used for? We have now almost completed the donated materials. You're probably out of donated materials now in the warehouse, almost complete. And now we're going to restock you. That is, we're going to restock the JDF and ODPEM with building materials. We have the funds, can do it now so that you can go on to do another 500 roofs. Yes. But more than that, we're going to use some of that funds now to deal with something that I know you want to hear about. The government promised that we will bring in, we made a promise for about 2,500 modular, semi-permanent, prefabricated housing solutions through the NHD. Those took time to manufacture and
All right.
to ship and to clear. It took, I would say, about 3 to 4 months from the time we procured and placed the order to here. The government of China has given us some. The Ministry of Housing has purchased some, and I believe it's the Red Cross that is giving us some as well. So we may get up to about 3.
Or let's leave the Prime Minister there for the moment. So I think that should bring that matter to rest, and I hope that as you listened, you will understand the challenge that the Prime Minister faces, the challenge of, just explaining stuff to people, and that you would do your part in ensuring that the information goes out as much as you possibly can. Now, I was told about a petition.
Damian Crawford, at his political party, Damian Crawford said, one by one, them going to jail. One by one, them going to jail. But if Damian was here, respectfully, Damian, it was just a talk. The same Damian who was saying that on the day when after election, and they were in the parliament, Damian came down and was shaking Andrew Holness's hand and big laughter. Damian, they can't shake Andrew hand in front of where we see that and feel comfortable. You understand what I say? Because we the Jamaican people, there's nothing to shake Andrew's hand about. Nothing. And we cannot ignore it. Some of you might think it's just the man being formal. No, we're not be formal with people who have stolen the country's money, whose statutory declarations cannot be verified from 2021. From 2021. We need accountability.
All right. So I had to go to this gentleman's page because of something I heard. Now, this is the man that is making all the rounds on social media about a petition. I had to, just...
It is a massive accomplishment to have 12,400 signatures in 3 days, in 72 hours. Yeah? It is a massive deal in our country where people are not yet fully awoke.
No, that's not good English though, my friend. I don't know. We have this debate about patois. That's not good English here. For the young people listening, the correct English is awoken. People don't awoke; they are awoken. Okay, so that is just for the students who may be listening. By the way, you doing CXCs? Best wishes in your CXC exams. I think this man's name is what? Damien. Damien, your English is not that's not good English. You hear? Not good English, not good patois. Nonetheless, I see where this is making quite a bit of attention on social media. Now, Marvin's petition capitalizes on the collective psychological trauma and the uncertainty left by Hurricane Melissa. And Marvin exposes something about the PNP that is very concerning. Because what Marvin is doing is that he is exposing how Jamaica's political culture of division has prevented national recovery and have left citizens vulnerable to manipulation. God have mercy upon us and help me with this. You see, in the absence of healing after the hurricane, Jamaica's fractured political identity has created a void. There is a void in the national psyche. And that void was created by the hurricane. You see, the nation suffered trauma after Melissa. It was the worst disaster in 100 years. And Jamaicans were traumatized. And that national void created an opportunity for actors like Marvin to exploit by substituting collective meaning with individual outrage. Individualized outrage. Because trauma disrupts the national psyche. And after a disaster like Hurricane Melissa, the society loses its sense of order, its sense of mutual responsibility. In other words, the normalness of the times. And people are no longer sure what the rules are, who to trust, or what coming together looks like. I want you to understand that recovery is not just physical. If the psychological and communal bonds aren't repaired, the society remains in what is called a liminal state. The fact of the matter is that we are pressing forward with physical recovery. But I don't know that we have examined the psychological recovery that needs to happen after a disaster like Melissa. And you see, when the state, when political leadership fail to facilitate national mourning, national building, national reconciliation, people are left with uncertainty. And uncertainty seeks resolution, you know. And in the absence of a shared narrative of recovery, individuals look for meaning. They look for blame. And they look for direction wherever it is offered. You see, the vacuum is not anger. The vacuum is not anger. It's more dangerous than that. The vacuum is a state of openness to any narrative that promises coherence. Exploitation occurs when division replaces healing.
Asking everyone to repost the live, please.
The People's National Party no vote in Parliament is what is being exploited here because they have divided the society. At a time when reconstruction requires cooperation from both sides, a void was left by the narrow no vote, and Marvin is exploiting it. Jamaica's political culture has historically operated through division rather than unification. And after the hurricane, that division continued instead of pausing for national recovery. It is into that space Marvin steps in. Not necessarily to heal, but to mobilize. It gives people a target, a sense of agency, but it channels the vacuum outwards toward outrage and external intervention rather than inward towards national cohesion. This is where propaganda meets trauma. And when propaganda meets trauma, the petition becomes a substitute for the national conversation that should be happening. Propaganda meets trauma, and it replaces the national conversation that we should be having. Moderator, I've taken too much time. I probably need to go to my point. Give me a few minutes. Propaganda meets trauma. A nation trying to heal after a hurricane loses its identity because the national leaders are pulling in opposite direction. The PNP have hurt Jamaica, badly. And you know what is sad? You know what is very sad? The support for the petition is coming from the People's National Party supporters, and it is the People's National Party that has created the vacuum in which Marvin is operating. It brings tears to my eyes. It is a fascinating time. You see, when propaganda thrives, where people feel isolated, when communities break down, people become easier to mobilize. Marvin petition works because Jamaicans feel a sense of loss post-hurricane. There is nothing about this petition that could survive a couple of years ago. It is an exploitation of a trauma-shocked people. And why are they traumatized? The people are traumatized because the national leaders have not come together. In other words, the People's National Party have not supported the healing. When Jamaica needed them, they turned their backs on us. And now they are supporting a petition against us. You know, see how wicked them, man. The nation is hurting because of the hurricane. The people are vulnerable. They are seeking to put their lives back together. They are searching for leadership. And into that vacuum comes Marvin with a petition. Let me tell you this. A nation that cannot recognize itself as a unified we, W-E, after a crisis starts looking for recognition and agency elsewhere. If you can't come together, let me tell you something. I hope I do not offend anyone when I say this. But if you're a woman listening to me and you have ever suffered sexual abuse, or if you're a man, you know what I'm talking about. That you begin to search for meaning. You begin to search for what is called your ontological self again. Or if you have suffered a broken heart, if your wife moved out on you, or your husband left you, or your boyfriend ghosted you, or your girlfriend, you become vulnerable. You become vulnerable not because you are not valuable, but because something has shifted in you psychologically and you start to search. That is why you can find yourself in the arms of another man and he can violate you without even your permission, because somehow you feel that you need to be accepted again. The nation required after Hurricane Mark Golding to support Andrew Holness, and Mark Golding failed to do it. And this is where it has led to the exploitation of a suffering people. And I call upon the powers that be, stop that damn petition. Stop it. It's an exploit. It's an exploiting of a suffering people, a people struggling for meaning. The petition is a bid for recognition from an external power. You see, my brothers and sisters, in moments of crisis, people confront radical freedom and anxiety. If a nation does not provide a shared project to absorb the anxiety. Now, NARA was the shared project, because what NARA did, was supposed to have done, was to absorb the people's anxiety. Let me tell you something, you see, man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Andrew Holness did his part. Andrew Holness did his part. After a crisis, it's called existentialism. Existentialism. After a crisis, people confront radical freedom and anxiety. And if a nation doesn't provide a shared project to absorb the anxiety, individuals will project it, onto a cause. The vacuum is existential, not just political. NARA was not just a political bill, it was an existential bill. NARA was not only about a bill, it was Jamaica's Bible. NARA was not only a bill, Pellucid Perry, it was the pathway to Jamaica's healing. NARA was not only physical, brothers and sisters. NARA was psychological. It was philosophical. It was sociological. It was metaphysical. And the rejection of NARA has created a vacuum in the people's mind. That's what Mr. Bolden has caused upon Jamaica. A broken nation searching for meaning after a devastating hurricane wanted its leaders to come together for a national project. And the national project is NARA. And the opposition rejected it. It is into that vacuum that Marvin has stepped. The problem is not that Jamaicans are angry. The problem is not that Jamaicans are angry. Jamaicans are not angry. The problem is that they have not been given or shown leadership from the opposition People's National Party. There are questions in their minds. The people need reasons to unify. After a crisis, you unify the nation. You don't divide the nation, you unify the nation. And until we address the psychological recovery of Melissa, any vacuum will be filled. And that vacuum is not by what heals us. People tell me every day that Jamaica is today divided more than it ever has been. How come? How come? Time come for asking how come? How come Jamaica is divided more than ever today? How come? Nara represented the national project for Jamaicans. It was psychological because the people wanted something that they could believe in, something that the nation leaders agree on, to say, yes, let us pursue this path together to rebuild our country. And instead, what did they get? The most divisive bill in our political history. How, I ask you, how can a bill designed to build back the country become the most politically divisive bill in the nation's history? How come? How come? Time come to ask them question then. How come? And so we keep asking why people sign, why they share, why they believe. But we never ask what was missing before they even heard the pitch. Jamaica just walked through Hurricane Melissa. The winds passed, but the silence stayed. And in that silence, a question hung over the island. Who is going to hold us together now? And on that, the shoulders of Andrew Holness fell that task to hold a nation broken by a storm, a nation battered by a Category 5 deaths. People lost their homes, lost their farms, lost their businesses. They are hurting. Their farms were underwater. Some had to pick up their deads. And what was the result? Press conferences after press conferences. No solution, no hope. And Mr. Holness said, let's make a bill. Let's carry a bill to Parliament. Let's see if we can bring the nation together. Because let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. A nation doesn't recover with zinc and tarpaulin alone. It recovers when it remembers that it is a nation. When the trauma of the storm is met with a shared project of rebuilding, with leadership that says we mourn together, we rebuild together, and we move forward together. That's how you heal a nation, Mr. Perry. You don't heal with zinc and board and mortar. No. You heal with a shared vision, a shared purpose, and that is what NARA is about. NARA is not only a bill. It is leadership. Leadership that says, let's build back together. Let's move forward together. And sadly, type it in the chat. Sadly, everybody type that word. Sadly, it didn't happen. Shame, type shame on the PNP. Shame on the PNP. Let it. No, sir. It didn't happen. What happened instead was the old script. The PNP stepped into the vacuum and did what it has always done. Refused to stand for anything that looks like national consensus. I beg you tonight, look at the NARA bill. Look at the NARA bill. A bill about governance, about structure, about giving the state the tools to function after a crisis. And what did we get? Power grab. Threat to democracy. Dangerous legislation. The same phases echoed across press conferences. Surrogates like Pellucid Perry and social media surrogates. And the noise drowned out the text. That's not opposition. That's abandonment. And at a time when Jamaica should have stood up, should have stood up Trying to see if I can adjust my microphone here. At a time when Jamaica should have stood up, they were abandoned. Nobody can come here and tell me foolishness. That we received no leadership. We received no leadership from the opposition People's National Party. At a moment when the nation required leadership, we got none. The nation was abandoned on the altar of political tribalism. Because opposition in the philosophical sense is still participation in the polls. Opposition is still, I disagree. But this is what we have today. What we have in Jamaica today is not opposition. It's a party that has abandoned its core function, its philosophical sense of who it is to be, and is only interested in pursuing power, not for the people, but in furtherance of themselves. And wherever there is a vacuum, it will always be filled. It is into that vacuum steps Marvin's petition. It doesn't need to heal you. It doesn't need to rebuild your roof. It only needs to give you a target and a script. Sign here, and the world will see Jamaica. It gives meaning to the anxiety that the state and the opposition both left unaddressed. Not that the state did not try, because they did. It is turning helplessness into action. It is turning people's grief into outrage. And it is turning silence into signature. And where do we go from here? You know, Hannah Ardent said that propaganda thrives where people feel isolated. Not because they are stupid, but because they are not, because they feel alone. And a person alone will attach themselves to anything that tells them they are part of something bigger. Moderator, how are my lines? Do I have callers? So the real exploitation good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. Jamaica first always. Good evening to you. Okay. Seven minutes to 9 o'clock. um, we like to say that Jamaica is resilient, but resilient without direction is just endurance. You can be resilient, but you need direction. It's just endurance. And endurance alone will make you sign anything that promises you are forgotten. A lot of people are signing what they don't even know what they're signing. they just they just know that they're signing something. I wanted to go to the whole matter of Patois, No, I don't know that I can get there tonight. You have to join me. Good evening to you, member Harry.
Good night, everybody. Good night, neighbor Caroline.
You all right, sir? Doing okay?
Yeah, I am, neighbor. Just a long day at the office, but everything is good.
Okay. Member Harry, did you hear the Prime Minister speaking at the Labor Day event?
I heard a small part of it. I didn't get to go through it in its entirety to catch the gist of everything.
Yes. The Prime Minister was at pains, Harry, to point out the way in which the government was approaching the spending of the $1.4 billion. And it occurred to me that for a Prime Minister to have to be taking time to explain that, is something that we should be concerned about. That is almost like the Prime Minister is having to come out to defend the fact that the government did not take any of the money. Really, really sad, Harry.
It is, neighbor, because personally I don't think he was needed to have that level of addressing that issue. I think the necessary authorities,
right,
the institutions and persons who is tasked to handle that matter and those issues, they did their job. They came out, they addressed it. But
clearly, the Prime Minister was not satisfied, or there were people in the society still asking the Prime Minister what to go on.
So you see, from that, neighbor, and it's time Jamaica move away from that level of thinking.
Yes.
When you have a team, because government and governance is a team thing, just like how you have sports, neighbor, football is a team sport, no one man do everything, right? You have to understand that it is not the person at the helm that should be addressing every and anything. Jamaica needs to move away from that level of thinking. And I want to tell you, it's not the majority who thinks that way, no, neighbor. It is those who mistake their voice to be the compelling one.
Yes.
And I can also go further to say it is the voice of those persons who never turned up at the polls have the biggest sounds. They're the ones who tend to demand a lot more when they didn't partake in any decision making, the highest decision making that is, right? But they want to, I call it Twitter badness, neighbor, social media badness, because really and truly, if you are to have a conversation with these people who are so compelled to be calling out the Prime Minister and him addressing the issue.
Yes. The head of the executive, he has to come out to share. There's something a little wrong with that,
It is, neighbor, right? But it is not. The Prime Minister doesn't need to come out and address this issue. Everybody else have done their job. Who is hands-on has done their job, and he did need to. But like I said, these people think they, I don't want to say have the right to demand it, because they're making demands, and not to realize that you don't elect a single leader.
Yes.
It is a team of leaders. And the person who is the head of that team delegates, and we have the records to show that he delegates well.
Yes.
And as such, you have to trust his delegation, which have the proven track record to do so. And he himself does not need to address the issue. But because we're caught up in this one-man kind of thing, because if you realize in a neighbor, everything Andrew did,
Yes.
everything, if these people think, and this is where I said belief trumps facts. If they believe that something is wrong, they're going to say Andrew. But when something is being done right, you're not hear Andrew.
Oh.
And once something is questionable, and these persons are the ones, neighbor, you cannot have a conversation with. And here's why. One, they don't know what they are commenting on. Two, they run with narratives. And three, they're not interested in knowing either.
Uh-huh.
They're all about the sound bites and to get a certain level of fame and to exploit neighbor, because it is exploitation of the current thing, especially those social media persons. Right? Because I've seen quite a number of these social media persons specifically, and I won't really call any name because I will address one of them very soon.
Okay.
Is that thinking that you're giving a disclaimer and then going into something that you don't know about should right there and then should tell you, say, shut your mouth.
Uh-huh.
You don't know the facts, but you want to speak in absolute. And if you realize these persons, how they speak, it is in absolutes.
Yes.
And they then come and say, but we don't know all the facts. Then sit down and shut up and wait until it's being addressed. Or you follow the necessary channels and medium to get the right answers, to get the facts, and put aside the what you believe. Because now you have your belief trying to trump the actual facts, and belief spread like wildfire. Especially in this time when your belief is emotional. And as such, and you said it, neighbor, we've never gone through this disaster.
Yes.
We are seeking for what we would call a leadership, but we don't know the type of leadership that we require, that the situation requires, because we've never done it before.
Uh-huh. You are agreeing with me that the hurricane created a vacuum in Jamaica. That the people are, in a sense, grieving loss and are searching for a pathway back to reconciliation. And Harry, we failed them. We failed them in the sense that the opposition did not offer not an alternative path, and they did not support the path of reconstruction. You agree with that?
The opposition has weaponized that lack in the people. They've weaponized the emotions of the people. They've weaponized the ignorance of the situation. They've also weaponized, neighbor, the understanding of a situation when you are, one, emotional, two, you are taken aback, three, it requires a calmness to think ahead. It also requires you to make a level of sacrifice, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, right? And you're now entering into a realm that you don't know of. So the best thing to do in those situations, neighbor, is to remain calm, is to think level-headed, to be open to consultation, to be open to discussion, to share perspective, so you can have a better balanced idea. But instead, what the opposition has done is to weaponize all of these things that the people are feeling. Reminder, we have not yet settled down from the emotional aspect of Melissa and her neighbor.
Correct.
For quite some time.
Yes.
It is a trauma. It's a traumatic experience. And I'm not speaking for those who would have just gotten it firsthand, neighbor. I'm speaking to those who have family us who are hearing stories, for those who don't have all the information, for example in diaspora, for those who are not at the educational and literacy level to grasp what has happened, to regulate themselves, to extend grace, because I have to say extend grace to their own self in a neighbor. Your entire being is all over the place, trying to make sense of it.
Yes, sir.
But here comes the opposition who you think is an alternative leader, right? And you see them bring division. You now see that at some level of comfort. The mind will see the bias in it. Because if you don't, in this time, something is not done fast enough based on how you feel and what you believe. Remember, you don't have all the facts. We never yet run a country. None of us have no idea what it takes to handle any risk management at this level. Nobody right now.
Yes.
And I can also put it, nobody in the opposition have a clue what that looks like. None. Yes, they know how to create it. They know very well how to do that. But when it comes on to management, to be risk adverse, to be forward thinking, to put plans forward and act on them, to execute them, there's only one administration that has showed the people that they know how to do it. And the beautiful thing that they saying, neighbor, if you don't know how to do something, don't refuse it. Accept the challenge and figure it out. This opposition has not accepted any form of challenge because they know they have no idea what to do, and they're very thankful. And if Perry and any comrade is listening, I'm saying this straightforward. They are breathing the biggest sigh of relief for any opposition in this on earth. Any opposition. They are happy. They're the one who is handling this situation. I can tell you that, neighbor. I don't need none of them to come and validate it. They are happy that it is not them in the driver's seat. Because, neighbor, a weeping and gnashing of teeth would have happened in Jamaica already, you know. And people need to understand, so listen, this is not a time where comfort is your best friend. People are displaced, physically, emotionally, all of them, neighbor. There's a displacement. And in order to get back to some level of normalcy, it has to be a new norm. We've had the perfect example with COVID. How we were 6 years ago, right? We will never get that back. We've created a new norm, neighbor. We found new ways, and that is the same shift that we have to do. It is a mandatory, or it is forced for you to evolve now and transform. And that takes time. That also takes a new way of thinking. But you know what the opposition bring forward? Not just division, but a level of aggression, neighbor, to say that is not how it's supposed to be done, and give people some theoretical things going forward, when they themselves don't have a track record of executing a single thing that they say. But it is good to hear comfort in words. It is good to get comfort in what we can do, not what is possible. It is good to give people that feel good feeling, neighbor. I think Bob Marley said when the music hits you, you feel no pain. The opposition is doing that in a different way to the people, to cause them to be divided among themselves. And that is why we see these things happening. And rather than go forward and understand your situation that you're in, because in order to handle a situation, neighbor, and to get out of it, you first have to understand what it is that you're in. Many people don't even take the time to understand what has happened. Many people are still picking up the pieces right throughout. And it is afterwards you have to then make sense of that, neighbor. But if you're not willing to do do what is required of you as an individual to empower yourself, which is through information, to then understand where do I fall in this catastrophe, in this traumatic experience, because we all are going through it. Even those in the East who did not get hit directly, neighbor,
Yes.
we have to now structure our lives to help hold this country together. 56% of our GDP gone, which means our lives, who roof never blow off, we never get displaced. Our lives, however, have been displaced because we have to now carry a burden
Yes.
for our brothers and sisters who used to contribute to this beautiful country going forward. And that is what the opposition is weaponizing, because they have no true leadership within them. Right? It is that what we're seeing. It is distasteful. It is one in which I think it's about time now, neighbor, the opposition just pack up and just keep their mouth shut, or the people just tune them out.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to offer as it stands right now. What we've seen when it comes down to leadership is one-sided. There's no if, no but, nor maybe about it. The current administration that falls under the tutelage and leadership of Andrew Michael Holness, neighbor, has proven himself. And all people need to do now is exercise patience in order to do something good and do it well. You cannot rush into everything. And this is why I said none of them on the opposition has any idea what to handle disaster management, risk management. Everybody knows, neighbor. And again, I said Perry was in the chat. I don't know when gone.
Was he?
If you are handling risk, neighbor, you know you don't rush into any decision.
Right.
You don't rush to act. You want to get as much information, as much analysis done to do it right, because you don't want to waste limited resources or have to do it again. You want to do it right. You won't get it right in the first go, right? But what will happen is that eventually you will be able to do it right throughout.
Fantastic. We have a few people online. Let's just try and see if we can take them. Stay with me, member Harry. Natasha, hi. Natasha, no. Taste endurance. Endurance. No. Okay. No. All right. Let's go back to member Harry. So member Harry, a nation does not recover with zinc and tapali. It recovers when it remembers that it is a nation. When the trauma of the storm is met by a shared project of rebuilding with leadership that says we're going to come together, we're going to rebuild together, and we're going to move forward together. We should have gotten that with NARA, Harry, but we didn't, and therefore a vacuum was created. Do you feel that this nonsensical petition is exploiting that vacuum? What's your view on it?
It is an exploitation to its highest level,
Uh-huh.
right? And when you look at it, you can't even take it into isolation by itself,
Yes.
because it has interconnected pieces where it is for the clout, it is political divide, it is also scoring political points. So it's a plethora of things that does not bode well for Jamaicans and Jamaica as a whole, neighbor, going forward. And that's a damning thing, because you don't only just have a level of divide, but understand where we're coming from as a people. They said it was the most aggressive slaves that was let off in Jamaica. So we have that level of aggression innately. And when you when you feed that, you have a level of chaos. You have a level of distrust that is birth neighbor. And trust and patience are two things we need in this moment. Of course, with a level of calmness to tackle it the right way. And that is what you truly get from it. When you feed all the negative things, the attributes and so on of our people in this time when they're most vulnerable, you get what we're seeing now. You get the whatever Marvin is trying to do. And he's not doing it by himself, neighbor. It is all strategically planned and being executed. We see it with the different institutions, speaking on certain matters and leaving others. We see where the media jump on some, leave others. So it is all an orchestrated setup to get this level of divide. And while we may not like it, it is the reality. And we have to know, as a people who want to move Jamaica forward, neighbor, it's not necessary to remove it, but to tune it out and to let good sense prevail. Now, that is the hardest thing to do when everything is riled up, your emotions, how you feel. Even those in a neighbor that are not in the situation has personalized it now as if a them, and that is very dangerous as to how we are able to move forward. The people themselves are I don't want to prohibit, but they're inhibiting their very movement forward because of that political divide, because of that belief and stance taken, and not realizing that they are the weapon that form against themselves, neighbor. So when you arm yourself to the teeth for something you want, you don't understand. 2, you don't have all the information, and 3, you're impatient about. You know what you tend to do now? You act irrationally. And once you act irrationally because of that weaponization, you now put yourself in a deficit for information. You put yourself in a pole position to not move forward, to stop your own growth, your own recovery, your own building to resilience and resurgence. And that in itself is what, for political gains, have been done for decades upon decades. It is nothing new. It just takes a little bit in terms of a different form because of what the disaster has brought to us. Systems fail, frameworks fail, and now we have to build it. And to be frank, neighbor, the current set of people, the crop of people, aren't the best to rebuild. As a nation, we have to relearn how to do that. We have to relearn to create a new culture of togetherness rather than individualism. Because we have a lot of individualism, and that is what is being weaponized. Because everybody wants the help. I think the Prime Minister spoke to, if they would have given everybody the money, I think it comes down to like 2,500, thereabout, something like that, or 25,000, something along that line. And it shows that people are looking at it from that standpoint and not seeing the bigger picture. Saying, no, what would I do if that money was put forward in that manner? But if you look at everything that has been done prior to that money, or while that money was there, you get to understand that, hey, 1, work has been done. 2, work is continued to be done. 3, the plans have been put in place for execution, which requires some form of patience based on the system and framework we're using. And then, as soon as people start to see a level of brick and mortar, I can guarantee you that's when they're going to retract them statement. You're going to hear people say, oh, me never say so. When we already know that emotions are very powerful in a neighbor. It make you do things where you naturally, you act uncharacteristic of yourself. Right? And I can show in terms of, when a man in love, neighbor, Hey, him do anything, you know.
Well, I don't know. It's a long time that. Long time that no to me, sir.
Neighbor,
Uh-huh.
let me tell you. You on free, but free nights will be your time. But people who listen in chat and so on. Neighbor, you would up on a phone call and a tear down a banana tree and not realizing you were hungry.
You mean when you're in love, sir?
Neighbor, when the emotion they turn up, man. And imagine
But that never happened to me. That never happened to me. Maybe I have never fallen in love. I wonder what you're talking about. Is that true? I wonder if there is anybody that would have made me tear down banana walking in it. Wow.
Neighbor, I can't tell you, I see it personally.
Uh-huh.
I have a friend, right? Middle of the night, this guy pull kitchen door gone out and you start with one banana tree.
Yes.
And when you look, him gone about 10. All of them are juke down till them bend.
Oh my God.
I've also seen, I have cousins, and I've seen them hungry neighbor.
Uh-huh.
And they on a call, and the phone call sweet them after 3-4 hours. They belly full.
Yes.
The moment the phone hang up, hungry and lick them, man. So it shows that happens, neighbor. So emotions are extremely powerful, and that is being weaponized.
Yes. Let me go over to Scratchy and see what he has to say there. Good evening to you, Scratchy.
Good night, neighbor. Good night, neighbor Caroline. How are you? One on YouTube and everywhere. Big up for yourself.
Fantastic. Scratchy, let me hear you on the Prime Minister having to come out, despite the fact that Marlon Morgan was on several media speaking about this matter of the 1.4, that the Prime Minister had to come out to answer questions about it, Scratchy. What does it say about Jamaica as a developing state that our Prime Minister have to be at pains to point out that he and his government don't trouble any of the money?
Asking everyone to repost the live, please.
I mean, neighbor, this is our section of Jamaica operates, neighbor. Whenever the Jamaica Labour Party is in government, neighbor. There's a lot of proxy groups out there, neighbor, who support the Opposition People's National Party. And these proxy groups, neighbor, they were some high office, as I always say. They know how to spew and skew messages. They know how to disinform the message. They know how to misinform the message. They know how to pump up their surrogates, neighbor, and put them all over social media. Put them in every cribs and corners of society across the length and breadth of Jamaica, neighbor. And some even in the diaspora here. And they arm them, neighbor. They weaponize them, not with literal weapons, but they weaponize them, neighbor, with certain things, neighbor, to be the misinformation and disinformation. You know, the access to certain information, neighbor, and make them go out there, neighbor, and spew this information all over the place. So sometimes, based on all this information and this bad news, neighbor, is spreading like wildfire. Sometimes it catch some persons off guard, neighbor, they need not time to think, or have time to wonder what is one, neighbor, and it sounds so, based on what he said, neighbor, it sounds so real to them that a lot of people run with it and push it, neighbor, the narrative, and the narrative just continue to push. That's just how the Jamaica Labour Party. And the next thing again, neighbor, that I have seen, and since Juliet Holness, neighbor, has become Prime Minister from 2016 to present, neighbor, they will pressure, there can be some talk out there, neighbor, they pressure the government, and they pressure the government, neighbor, every minister could have come talk till God come, neighbor, the argument never put it until the Prime Minister answered, neighbor.
Oh.
Pre-back on everything of significance. Look here how the other minister them talk, neighbor. Look here how the technocrats and whatever ministry department and agency talk. It's still out there. It's whenever the Prime Minister come and speak on it, it's like them directly are waiting to hear what the Prime Minister has to say. Case in point, I will not touch on it. Look at even the budget case the other day.
Yes.
Everybody was talking years about it, neighbor. Everybody just wanted to hear what is the Prime Minister's take on this, what the Prime Minister does about this. Two things it show, neighbor. It show, neighbor, that Jamaicans, neighbor, hold some form of respect, neighbor, or hold some form of authority, you know, whatever the Prime Minister has to say, neighbor. And that's good, neighbor, if we live in our country and despite whatever might out there that persons might say, not good to a great extent, but to an extent on the level of the Prime Minister and the impact that he might have on the country without even knowing. Are people seeing it this way there?
Hold on. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, and it can also, if people, other persons can also look on it in a way and say, well, maybe it might be because of how the Prime Minister positioned himself as a leader, type of leadership style that he portrays, or the type of leadership style that he carries. But I see it, neighbor, I think it is because of how the Prime Minister communicates, neighbor. And it is no disrespect. I know neighbor to any other members of the cabinet, neighbor. And not in the cabinet, by the whole parliament, by extension, neighbor. I think the Prime Minister was style, neighbor, that a lot of these politicians don't have, neighbor. When he speaks, neighbor, he speaks with some form of clarity. He speaks, neighbor, where it is so, where you can understand it to a certain. I would brand the Prime Minister, neighbor, that great communicator. And I think that is one of Jamaica Holness key skills, neighbor, that he have, neighbor, going across Jamaica for the past 10 years as Prime Minister, neighbor, his ability to capture the audience, neighbor. He's a Prime Minister, neighbor, that came with functionable. If you look at him, neighbor, you know when to light in the moment, neighbor. Whenever he goes up to the mic to speak, neighbor, he always have some type of jovial act. What that he can bring to the forefront. So
Yeah.
Prime Minister is a wonderful communicator, neighbor.
Yeah. But let me put this to you, Scratchy. Don't you think that the Prime Minister need others to help? And I'm going to ask you a question that I don't know if my producer moderator will allow, but if it is inappropriate, producer, you can let me know. I get the sense, Scratchy, that they rather than coming together to push the party's message forward, that surrogates, and when I say surrogates, I am including on them in that online bloggers, tend to be divisive, Scratchy. There is no coherent message online. And I wonder if that is not part of what needs to be looked at. How the party is messaging and helping the Prime Minister.
Good point, neighbor. Good point. Definitely a good point, neighbor, because if you look at it, neighbor, yes, and this is not this is no disrespect to any bloggers or anything. We appreciate and respect and love everything when the bloggers are doing. But if you look at it, neighbor, yes, the message sometimes one page, one politics post might be talking about something, and next one might be talking about something, and the next one might be talking. So might have even say you have 10 bloggers. 10 of us might be on here speaking about 10 different things, So sometimes that can be good also. But when there are certain matters of interest, there are certain matters that are out there in the public opinion, I think it would be good. It would be definitely good, neighbor, if a message was directly coming from Jamaica Labour Party, not the government.
Okay. Is it that the Prime Minister needs to speak earlier on these matters? And how can he, with the level of responsibility he has, how can the Prime Minister be the main communicator for the government?
Never, because one of the key things that we have to look to, neighbor, is not just because of how come the Prime Minister becomes the main speaker of the government, neighbor. This is Jamaica, neighbor. Both political parties, neighbor, whenever both political parties go to the poll, neighbor, it is the leader, neighbor, that they put up front, neighbor, that a lot of them, neighbor, can come across the winning column and a ballot sometime. It is the leader, neighbor, who sometimes, neighbor, it is his aura, it is his presence, neighbor, it is his popularity, neighbor, that bring a lot of other member of parliament across the line, neighbor. So you have a lot of constituency across the length and breadth, neighbor. They might not directly like their member of parliament, neighbor, but they like the leader of the party, which might extend to the Prime Minister. So no, this is the Prime Minister, neighbor, as we often say, Jamaica is a leader-centric country, neighbor. Jamaica is a country, neighbor, where we look forward to our leaders, neighbor, and we vote for our leaders. And I think that is one of the main things, neighbor, why Jamaicans, neighbor, look towards the Prime Minister, neighbor, to come out and speak. And I think also, because of how persons know how the high level, the high threshold that misinformation and disinformation is that right now, neighbor. And from a government standpoint, neighbor, the book for the Prime Minister. So whatever the Prime Minister said, neighbor, the Prime Minister said. And to your point about the Prime Minister speaking early, I don't think he needs to come out and speak early, neighbor. Even when the Prime Minister come out and speaks, neighbor, he must be one who speaks from a point of fact, neighbor. From a point where, neighbor, where if it's a state, neighbor, and civilian neighbor, where we strike a balance. You know, he's not going to speak in a way where we try to trump over one or prove one over one. He's going to strike a balance in whatever he's doing, neighbor. He's the Prime Minister, neighbor, because of his own personal style, neighbor. He brags himself, neighbor, as broker, neighbor. He brags himself as the Prime Minister who brand this as Desert Clark's, neighbor. He brand himself, neighbor, the Prime Minister who can communicate and what other Jamaicans can identify with, neighbor. In every aspect of his life, neighbor. So I think it is up to it is because of his own personality, his own persona, neighbor, why Jamaicans look at him, neighbor, as the main communicator to government, neighbor, and not to put blame on any other member of parliament or any other ministers by extension, then, neighbor, to say that it is because of lack of their half, or a lack of this, or a lack of that, and their point, why they are not seen as good communicators and why the Prime Minister will come out, neighbor. No, it is because of how good our Prime Minister is, neighbor. It is because of the type of man that this man is, neighbor. His aura, neighbor, his presence, neighbor, just overwhelm everything, neighbor, and take away from other persons, neighbor, who might be a good standing because of how great the Prime Minister is, neighbor. That's just how I see it.
Okay, one more for you, Scratchy, because propaganda spreads where civic literacy is weakest. Civic literacy is not merely the ability to read. It is the ability to distinguish institutions from personalities, evidence from emotions, dissent from destabilization, skepticism from cynicism. A population may be highly expressive, politically passionate, socially aware, yet they are still vulnerable to manipulation if it lacks the habits of disciplined inquiry. Don't you find, Scratchy, that this petition thing that is happening is feeding into the civic illiteracy of the people and the whole matter of disciplined inquiry, where people don't even understand what they are signing. They don't even understand the issues. Don't you find, Scratchy, that this is a difficult country to communicate to?
Yeah, Jamaica, neighbor, is a difficult country to communicate to, neighbor. And sometimes, neighbor, I wonder, neighbor, if this is something, neighbor, that was deliberately done, neighbor, in order, neighbor, to have a sway over the population by politicians or by persons, neighbor, who can do these things, neighbor. Because when I look at Jamaica, neighbor, and the lack of independent thinking that goes on in this country, neighbor.
Yes.
Some persons, neighbor, who I can even consider, neighbor, as well educated, neighbor. When I see these persons are also following these things, neighbor, I have to sit back to myself and say, no, this is some form of indoctrination, man. Because this is a person who might go to the highest level of education, neighbor. I excel to the highest level, neighbor. But despite the level of education with them, neighbor, it is the common sense thing. You know, like voted against Nara. These people support these things. So you have to say to yourself, no, man. Them people can't just be like this, neighbor. So when you look at even this petition thing, neighbor, petition is something that I don't have a problem against petition, neighbor. What I have a problem, what I look at, neighbor, when I come to petition, neighbor, is who is the person behind the petition, neighbor? And what is the personal agenda behind the petition, neighbor? No, this petition, neighbor, the person who's behind this petition, why I wouldn't buy it, I don't buy into this petition, neighbor. At one point, neighbor, this person was seen, neighbor, running up and down with the opposition People's National Party in the last election campaign, neighbor. So, neighbor, as a citizen of Jamaica, neighbor, I have to ask myself, what is this person's motive? Does this person have a hidden agenda? Is this person doing this because this person knows the national attention that this topic right now might gain to seek to gain some form of popularity? Or is this person have some form of aspiration down the line to go into representational politics?
Yes.
And is trying to launch a campaign, neighbor, and the box and the suffering neighbor and the loss of a person's life and the alleged extraditional killing of by police officers neighbor. So these are things about we have to ask ourselves neighbor, and based on this person background neighbor, this is not something that I wish to be a part of. I would have wished to be a neighbor, because this person based on the shrimp and show me that him have a hidden agenda neighbor.
Uh-huh.
So I anybody who work on these things neighbor, I want these things to come from a national standpoint, because I can tell you something neighbor. The person who's behind this thing about petition against police and government and very neighbor. Yeah, but then the face when you face neighbor with police neighbor. Then they go through what we go through with police neighbor. Then they go through half of what we go through with police in my constituency and my community neighbor. And if me can't say alright, of course I sympathize and understand that it is possible that somebody killing based on alleged unalive might be extradition. Of course it is possible. We never come say it is it's not possible.
Uh-huh.
But I also understand from a standpoint and know say okay, they understand the police if they come from too. They understand how police are so think to neighbor. So these people when they behind these petition neighbor, they're not a victim. They're not a family member who lose life by police officer neighbor. Then them said neighbor no come under the police brutality and the police hostility and them thing neighbor. So when they see them people and they look at them thing neighbor, ignorant gender neighbor. Why the persons neighbor who face police brutality neighbor, who lose family members by hands of police neighbor, why they are not so vocal like these persons who just come and run in and they go to no form of these things neighbor. They have ignorant gender. They use people, they use the death of people to do this neighbor, and they use whatever. I actually even know sometimes it pain me out in the neighbor. September the 23rd just gone the other day, 16 years ago. And they still never use these things neighbor. And it hurt me. When I see them man behind these things neighbor, I just to myself.
What happened on September 23rd?
Never 16 when I'm in person gone.
Say that?
And sometimes it pain me out because I say to myself, why them youth you go through? What kind of injustice them brother you go through? What kind of police brutality them brother you go through? Which family member them you can know say I innocent and get no and lose them life at the hands of police? Who don't go through none of them things there? And I only see a push up on themselves the most. And the people that go through it just lay back so and understand they can forgive and forget and understand Charles. But as things may be, we need police. We can't do without police. But who not try to push a totally neighbor? There's a lot of things that go on where I don't agree with it neighbor. And the persons that go disagree against something, you talk about a specific thing. Nothing wrong with that. But don't come with your hidden agenda and try to ride the back of people pain and people suffering.
Oh God.
To get some form of political mileage in the future. Because I that do not do. Only about to no. Food and run back and about now run up and down and Jamaica for a petition and face
God.
nothing. Not in the face, brother. Stop use people pain and separation, brother. People cry. Your mothers that can't see about them son. Mothers that can't see about them uncle, that can't see about them nephew. I'm soon I run up and down like when the go to no. Now we want to can forgive and forget. And move on. Come on, man. We have a little country in the neighbor. Too much. Everybody in Jamaica, they think too political, man. Everything politics people say.
Yes.
Everything in politics people say, neighbor.
Oh God. Boy, I tell you. Oh my goodness. Wow. Why sometimes it's so sad. It is so sad. It took so hurtful. Kwachi, you still there, sir? Boy, I tell you, Scratchy, it is so sad to see how we have caused politics to just divide our country. And Scratchy, I made the point earlier that at a time when Jamaica needs healing, because Jamaica is hurting, Scratchy, because after with all that we are going through here, Scratchy, here we had a hurricane knocking us, and at a time when you expected that, boy, the country should come together, the country is being torn apart with all these nonsense, Scratchy. It's very painful, eh?
Yeah, but painful, neighbor. Painful, but Jamaica reach a point, neighbor, in our life, neighbor, where Jamaica can be reached, neighbor, where the thing will prosperous, neighbor. Everybody might not rich, neighbor, but a lot of persons are in the dire poverty, but you tell when the rampant across the length and better country, neighbor. We're at a turning point in our nation right now. If we don't get it right now, neighbor, the next 40 years again, if we don't get it right now, neighbor, the next 40 years or more. And nobody and people can't look through that and see what really are going in the country and say, yo, we really have to turn it and we put the best interest of the country forward and do this to Jamaica for once in our lifetime. For how long politics are the railway, politics are the railway, politics are the railway. One thing, man, you know, tell us the opposition neighbor, that's what I tell us the neighbor, that's a blame my holy neighbor. This was going across the length and breadth of Jamaica right now, mark holy cause this neighbor. That even PNP like mark holy neighbor. Because I never saw the thing that stay neighbor. I never saw any other leader, when the other leader there was at the PNP neighbor, some level of statemanship could have been shown a long time. Some form of respect could have been shown to the Prime Minister a long time neighbor. The level of hostility and the high political mind voltage in Jamaica and the tension neighbor, we tell you right now. Mark Golding cause this in the country neighbor. Mark Golding take over as a weak leader and I try to use some form of political style neighbor when the country pass a long time. They still have control over the people and I try to create some form of political hostility. Mark Golding cause this was going in Jamaica neighbor. There's a lot of people in Jamaica neighbor when they have PNP neighbor can look into themselves because one thing we have Jamaica neighbor. By the time it's a reality liquid, they send a reality liquid, we could have lie like sure. We have to be real with ourselves at that point in time. Never all of them know Sir Jones at the moment. And the PNP ask them and tell us, yeah, man, I'm not going to go. Never all of them know Sir Jones at the good neighbor. But just because of politics, neighbor, people can come out and say, yo, man, the man going around the country. And just because of politics, people can come, neighbor, all of them know neighbor, there's not one person who can live in Jamaica right now, neighbor, say Jamaica now run good. Anybody say that neighbor something wrong with them, they need to leave Jamaica. Come on, man, the country neighbor, the country run good. The country in the best condition because neighbor category 5 in Jamaica one year, and never know that. If you look directly in a St. Elizabeth and see the destruction, and respond and away by the destruction go on, you will never know that category 5 is a small economy.
So right.
And people come up ball and talk about 1.8% of money spent and this the greatest thing the money is there. And once the money is there, nearby it can be spent. And I that the people in slave to say, and I that I say bright people run up and down.
Yes.
And of course the government to spend the money. I say look on them people who say bright. I tell you already the name, I'm gonna tell you again. A bright people mash up Jamaica, you know. You think I don't people mash up Jamaica? And the so-called bright them nearby them take for the people them spoils and share to themselves and them tap on our friend. And tell themselves bright. And bright people down in Jamaica. Bright people mash up the country neighbor.
My
and
God.
then class the country and talk about the country dons and the country literacy rate this and the country the neighbor bright people deprive the people of their foundation. A bright people deprive the people of their ability to develop them skills. A bright people deprive the people in neighbor from achieve them goals. Bright people that in Jamaica neighbor. And whatever social program or whatever they come down and trickle down to the people, they take it for themselves and them friend. Bright people and PNP neighbor must show Jamaica. So PNP they always found themselves going by the party and bright. That's it will be a Damon Crawford looked about Boston and big up education. A bright people, neighbor. And PNP, I saw them told themselves as being the bright. They must have Jamaica, neighbor.
Well, thank you there, TV man, I'm coming to you. Maroon Emperor. Good night to you, sir. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, man, greetings. What's up?
Who is this now? Who is this? LA Lewis?
Yes, man, I'm Maroon Emperor this man. We shall
Maroon Empire. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fabulous and I'm doing great, you know. But I Joe, me and my brother over there say the country are the best of it ever. Why I know, you know, I'm in the street and I'm giving away millions of dollars almost every month to poor people and my office rob poor people every day balls and
LA Lewis. And a PNP, you know. LA Lewis. LA Lewis. And a PNP now, a whole GMC that driving a Benz, you drive on the Labour Party. You know. A Benz, we see you drive going to LA Lewis. You never drive Benz on the PNP now.
Why we move? Hello, sir. Hello. But he's muted.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Mr. Lewis, can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, my lord.
Mr. Lewis, do you read the statistics, the information coming out of the Statistical Institute of Jamaica? Do you believe in them?
No, none of them are real.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. You have never believed them at any time in your life.
If you have been in the street like me, my lord, you have to be in the
No,
street.
no. Do not assume that I'm not in the street, Mr. Lewis. I'm asking you, have you ever given any credence to the information coming out of the institutions that are responsible to measure things like poverty?
No, I've never given any credence. During my years of serving under Siago, serving underneath Portia Simpson Miller, and until I'm in the Maroon government now, and I'm neutral now. The credence was never yet right.
Okay.
Tell you why the credence. Hold on, I'm going to tell you why the credence have never yet right now. Over the last 35 years, they've been giving you a statistic that is on 2.1 million people in Jamaica. You understand? So once you give a statistic of 2.1 million people in Jamaica over the last 30 years, and then if you don't believe me,
how many people are in Jamaica?
the real statistic is if Montego Bay alone of over 1.1 million people.
Mr. Lewis, come now. Don't be real, man. Don't talk nonsense. No, sir. No, but you can't. Don't do that.
Have you seen the last voters count?
I have. Well. Let me just let you understand this. That I can't.
Mr. Lewis, please, do not try to control the conversation. Let us treat this do this in a respectful way.
Yeah. Okay. This is. Open back his microphone, man. We can handle him. Hello, Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Okay. I want you to understand, Mr. Lewis, that I don't know how old you are, but I've been around for quite a while, and we have had poor people in Jamaica for a long time. So, quite frankly, I think based on me being in the streets, the level of poverty in Jamaica today is the lowest I have seen it in all my lifetime. You don't agree with that?
No, I couldn't agree with that, my brother.
Okay, you say you do social work.
No, I don't say it. Everybody knows it.
Okay, and you give away a lot of money in the streets.
Yes, everybody knows it. They can Google it, YouTube it.
YouTube have it that you give away money?
Yes, man, just Google LLOs give away millions to the police, LLOs give away millions to the poor people, LLOs give away millions to all kind of things, LLOs give away millions of dollars to the PNP, LLOs give to police.
You give it to the PNP, sir?
I give it to everybody.
Did you contribute to their online petition when they put it out for the hurricane?
Yes, man, I give away money.
How much you gave them?
I think I give away about 400 or 300,000 to it, but different from that, I went and give away.
Hold on,
money.
you give 400,000 to the PNP for the.
About 300,000 to be exact.
How much total did they say they collect?
I don't really follow it up, Yes,
You're a member of the party. You're a member of the PNP.
No, I'm not a member of the PNP. I'm the head of the Nyan Maroon government, tribal nation territory government.
So why are you giving money to the PNP?
No, I don't give money to PNP, my lord. I give money to
No, man, I'm not asking you about anything else. I'm asking you about why you give money to the PNP.
No, because what happened now, the PNP was asking for money to do charitable benefits, and I'm a philanthropist. So I give away to every side.
Did you give any to the government's website?
No, I didn't give away to the government website.
Why?
Popsicle did have our personal things, and I went to down there and support Popsicle. I want to support Popsicle.
I see. So you are selective in terms of your political donations?
No, it's not selected to my political donation. It's selected to my political candidates. I love Popsicle.
No, man. You just said that you gave almost 400,000 to the PNP.
Yes, but what I'm saying now, my lord, if you ask me a question, so
Neighbor.
answer you. Well, let me answer you entirely, not cut me when I don't talk. I'm a person who's selected by the candidate, not by the party. When Siaga was leading, I was all for the labor right. When Portia was leading, I was all for the PMP. You understand? One at a time, I was.
How do you work, Mr. Louis? You have a business?
Businesses.
Oh, you have businesses. What type of business you do?
Well, I control a juice company. I control several farming, and I'm also the head of the Nyankepong Maroon government, and I also do spiritual business, like when you're ready to get your power ring, your gathering.
Hold on. You give away gathering?
Power ring, gathering, all kind of ring.
What you saying to me? My understanding is that you misled the country, sir. You are a propagandist, Mr. Lewis.
No, propagandist is people who lead people astray.
Okay, so I understand that when the Hurricane Melissa was coming, you told the people that no hurricane was coming. How you is a power reader and you get it so wrong? And why haven't you come out and apologize for your error?
No, can I answer you and you don't cut me, or you gotta cut me before we don't talk?
No, man, we're having a conversation. Answer the question. You misled the country. When Hurricane Melissa was, you say you're a power reader, and you're a spirit. You're a spirit what? You're a spirit man.
No, as I'm saying now, please don't cut me while I'm answering you. If you answer entirely, then you can cut me after. Now, when the so-called hurricane was coming,
hold on. No, you see, I have to cut you, sir. Don't say so-called, because it is important that you do not mislead my audience. It is not a so-called hurricane, sir. It is a hurricane.
All right. When the cloud seeding.
No, I don't know about that, sir.
That's why now, my lord, when you're a journalist, my lord.
No.
You must. When you're a journalist, listen, my lord. No, sir. I studied journalism because I'm a social media blogger, so we have to know.
Well, I don't know that. I'm asking you, sir. You said you misled. You said that there was would have been no hurricane. What did you apologize?
My good friend, if you're gonna keep a dictator show now,
okay,
you must let your viewers know that you're a dictator show you're keeping. So we know that when we come, we just ask you what are we to say from what are we not to say.
Okay, sir. Now, go ahead.
From we're not speaking anything to downplay your program or to.
But on an editorial note, Mr. Luke, on an editorial note, I am against propagandists and I don't like misinformation.
Well, if I was a propagandist, my lord, it would be spoken because I'm a well famous and a well grounded person.
Okay, yes, no, okay. So you're a spiritist. You say you're a spiritist, and
yes, I'm a high priest, my lord.
You're a high of what order?
I'm a high priest of the Nyankepong Maroon tribal government and of the Ethiopian Zion Judah Coptic Church.
Okay, all right. So I'd love to get to that, but I want you to answer me. You said that no hurricane was going to be coming to Jamaica.
But I was going to answer it and say I'm not to say nothing.
Okay, but the hurricane did come. So how you explain that?
Well, Lord, my lord, what did came, my lord, was a thing what they call cloud seeding, my lord.
Oh, Jesus.
As a part of the depopulation program, my lord. So you must let me talk to you, my lord, and then you try to prove me wrong. That is a journalistical, and I know that you're beautiful. Host will tell us that I'm not wrong, and I know that you're a well-educated person.
No, I don't know about that. I'm saying to you, sir. No, what do you call? What came to Jamaica, sir? What came?
Was it the earthquake, my lord? And what you must do now, my lord. No hurricane can come.
No, call me now, my lord, sir. Neighbor is my name.
respect. When we call people my lord, that means I will show you the utmost respect.
Oh, well, sir, I don't know, but you are a man of some influence. I'm concerned, sir, that you are misleading people. I don't know, because we.
No, man, I'm far away from misleading people, my lord. If you're not privy to of what I'm talking, my lord, you just get your Google or you go on your chat GP, and while I'm talking, you can Google, and you can prove that I'm telling one wrong story, I'll send you $1 million, my lord, which is $6,000, so it's not like enough money.
No, I do not. I would not accept that offer, my lord. I don't want you to make that offer to me. So let me ask you a question now. What's happening with the Maroon up there? I understand that they're having an election. You are in that election?
No, I'm the head of the Maroon government. I'm the emperor.
Oh.
So the Maroon, those are called regional election, where there's with chief, not with the emperor.
Oh.
So if you check out now, you can type in Maroon government, and you'll see that I am the head of the Maroon government globally. We have offices in America, we have offices in Negril, Montego Bay, we have offices in Oche, we have offices in Kingston, and offices in Canada, we have offices in Panama, and all over the place.
I see. Okay. So you are the head of you are the emperor.
Yes. So if you want a sovereign documents now, you would have to go to the Nekeisha Maroon government, and with that documents now, you cannot get deport from America, because you would be American Maroon national, and you cannot get deport from England. And with those documents also, you do not pay tax nowhere at all in the world unless it's you feel to pay tax. Those are called sovereign native government documents, and you can Google it also too, because I see that you're a well-grounded person.
Well, I don't know about that, but you were listening to.
I know that you don't know that, so I'm teaching you. Because remember, I know.
What you teaching me, sir?
Oh, I'm teaching you about sovereignty and about indigenousness.
Oh, I can tell you something, Mr. Lewis. You don't know a thing about sovereignty, and I don't want to get into that. No, hold on, sir. Hold on. No, but I don't want to get into that discussion with you, Mr. Lewis, with the greatest of respect. When you speak about sovereignty, sir, I don't want to get into that discussion with you, because then I'm going to take you places that I'm sure you're not going to be able to manage. Let me ask you this, though, sir. You came up here. You came.
I am far zillion miles away ahead of you in sovereignty.
I think so. I challenge you. You're not, but that's
no,
okay.
My lord.
No, Mr. Lewis.
My powerful friend, and I do call you powerful because I rate you, because I like your authenticity. But you do not know nothing about sovereignty to the heights that I can bring you. No.
I can take you heights. You can't. No. But we don't have the time. You're gonna come back. You're gonna come back. You're going to go into the galaxy, because you talk about what? You're going to take me into the galaxy. By the way, how much?
I like you. You're very brave.
Oh, I'm brave.
No one has ever win me in sovereignty.
One you in sovereignty. One you. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Lewis. You were listening to this program and decided to join. Why?
Because I like the way you talk, and my friend there was talking about the place is the best ever. I was saying, wow, this my friend, like him haven't been into the streets, him haven't been to the cribs and corners.
Were you around Mr. Lewis during the 90s?
Yes, I'm 53 years old.
You're a very young man, sir. Have you studied the Jamaican politics since independence? Have you looked at it?
No, yeah, I do political science, so I know about them, and I've been a part.
Where did you study political science? Where you studied it?
I did my online course.
Oh.
When I was in man, you're asking me, not give me a chance to answer.
Well,
remember, when I was in the Masonical order, I was
the what? Hold on. The what?
Masonic order.
You're into Freemasonry?
Yes, sir, yes, I'm a Mason. So I was running at the time for the West Kingston MP. You understand? At the time when Bonawita was there. But Desmond Mackenzie came in, and me and Desmond Mackenzie was good friend. His good friend. I backed out. So you can type in Google Ellen was run for West Kingston MP.
You better know that. Hold on. So you are telling me that you were around, actively involved in the 90s?
Yes, man. Type in as far as you can. If you say you're in the street, ask any one of your people.
Yes, I saw you write up the whole place with your name. Is that how you get recognition?
No, man. My campaigns are my fans and right.
Defacing the public space, graffiti. Why do you do that?
No, my lord. Remember, you cannot tell your fans what to do for what not to do. You're at your bed.
But you're not a leader, sir, because if your fans are breaking the law, why don't you have any hold on. They are breaking the law, sir. Why don't you tell them to Yes, Mr. Empire.
Now, all of the people who's barking up JLP and PMP and all kind of things up on the wall, I've never heard my good friend Edward Saga said, no, mark it up. And I've never yet heard a PMP campaign. I said, stop mark up the PMP them on the wall. So
Do you know, Mr. That's not very ethical of you to say, sir. You know that? As a leader? No, that's not very, because no, what you have to do is accept responsibility for something that has been wrong under your leadership. Don't point to others, sir.
No, my lord. I do not know who's writing up the things.
Well, tell them to stop. Tell them to stop. Okay, let's move on, sir. What I'm asking you is that the period of the 90s, Mr. Lewis, was a period that it has been described by others as the greatest transfer of resources from the poor to the rich that occurred in Jamaica since slavery. You know a bit about slavery. Have you ever heard that statement?
Regurgitate again.
Regurgitate. I'm to regurgitate it.
Yeah, what they said, I didn't hear it.
It has been said that the period of the 90s saw the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich that occurred in this country since slavery. Have you ever heard that statement?
Well, I know that in the time of, I think, when they say that Castro was coming and the country was going to become a rare.
That's not the 90s, sir. That is in the 70s.
Well, but in the 90s, I wouldn't know about that because I know about FinSac and all of them things there. And Jamaica.
Well, you tell me you're a student of political science, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, my lord, but that's why I'm telling you, said now, from the dollars dropped from in the 90s, it not go up back from them time.
Not talking about the dollars. I'm asking you about a specific statement that
That would be wrong. That would be wrong again, my lord, because if you're going to talk about richness from transfer, you would talk about now the dollars, my lord. If the dollars is slipping and go down, there isn't been no.
You see, I wanted to have a conversation with you about poverty, and so all I was doing is to put the context to you, and you seem to want to avoid that. I don't know why.
No, I am answering you, my lord. That's a blatant lie, my lord. Nobody has ever got it. The richness has been deteriorated from Jamaica since the 90s.
Okay, so you have never heard that statement?
No, the statement has been spoken, but it's a lie.
Oh, it's a lie?
It's a lie. Several times it has been spoken.
The poor people in Jamaica have gotten wealthier?
No, my lord, no. Just a few handful.
Okay.
More people got it poor than people that got it rich, and the one or two people that got it rich, my lord, most of them are going to foreign.
Do you vote in local elections?
No, I'm a maroon. I cannot vote. Not all. I can support, but I cannot vote.
Okay, but I saw you down at the National Arena at the PNP's conference. What were you doing there?
Oh, I just went there to make a distribution of 3.8 million to the PNP at the time.
Okay, So you only went to the what you were seen on the stage. Would you agree with me that it could be interpreted, even misconstrued, maybe perception that you're a supporter of the party?
I'm a supporter of the leaders them more time. Cause remember, you know.
Clarify that for me. You said you went to the People's National Party conference to give them $3.5 million.
Yes, just come you know. At that time now.
But you're a maroon. You're a maroon. Are you a genuine maroon, sir? Are you fake?
No, man. I'm the head of the maroon, so there's nothing.
Then what are you doing at the People's National Party conference?
Well, remember, you know. Me and Andrew did have a look at beef over.
I don't want to hear about that. Answer the question. Just Mr. Lewis, just.
you know that people tell the truth. As I said now.
No.
At the time, me and the Prime Minister have a look at
No,
beef
that is irrelevant to the question I'm asking. Just answer. Why were you at the PNP's?
And I'm telling you why I'm there, and you say no, why you're.
Oh, no. Why is he muting? Open back your microphone, Emperor, and tell the people at Jamaica what you were down at. What were you down at the national arena doing?
Now, at the time now, me and my long-time friend have a look of beef, so I went in and said, all right, I have to get the thing even. You understand? So I went in and support the party. There would be a fair election.
What do you mean fair election?
Yeah, you know what they affects the man of a woman. I mean affects the man about something what go your way. You say you can support.
So a grudge, you carry grudge for the Prime Minister?
No, I'm not going to grudge him. I'm not vexing about Juliet. Juliet gone and I mean, my lad, they're trying not to think you
Give me one of the gathering. You can't give me one of the gathering.
Yeah, well, we're ready, man.
Yes, I get the feeling that you're a comrade. You're a comrade undercover, you know, Mr. Lewis. I think so, you know. No?
No,
but you always give them money. You give them $3.5 million a conference. When them put out them petition, you give them $300,000. That's nearly $4 million. Where you get so much money, sir?
No, remember I told us I'm the head of the Nyanke Maroon tribal government.
And you get paid from that. You get paid from that.
Remember, you know, we have 3.8, almost 4.8 million people sign up over the last 17, 18 years. So the offices in America, we get a lot of funding from the offices in America, get a lot of funding from the offices in Jamaica. Because remember, when you sign up to get your sovereign documents, it's $500 US per one.
Uh-huh.
And if you look, you see a lot of people have them because with these documents.
you know, Mr. Lewis, you're a fascinating man.
No, it's not just a fascinated man, my lad.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, you know, everything that we said is actual and factual, and so no,
I find you to be a very interesting character. I must tell you the truth. Very, very interesting. And listen to me. I am flabbergasted that you have.
You remind me a bit of Louis Farrakhan. Every time I saw you, that's why
you me, sir? That at all. As a matter of fact, you know, sir.
I'm a big fan of Farrakhan, you know.
Yeah, I am myself. Well, not his religious beliefs, but I have admired his ability to speak truth to power. And you remember that CBS interview where he told the journalist to be quiet.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, man.
Fascinating stuff. But
yes.
but you do philanthropic work, you say, in Jamaica, and I appreciate that. Yeah?
Yes, man, and not only in Jamaica but all over.
Yeah. And you listen to this program, sir?
No, what I said, it's my first time over here, you know, but I was scrolling past because, you know, when you have a promotional mind frame and you have a global mind frame, you're scrolling with it. And to find out
yes.
the power content. So when I scroll on your page now, I find out that you're a power pointer, so
I am a what? I am a what?
a power pointer.
Power pointer?
Yes.
What does that mean?
In the social media realms now, we call power pointer the page them that have something to teach the public. And
well,
yes, so we call that a power pointer.
Well, thank you for that, sir. Thank you. You've been very courteous. Thank you. Yes. Well,
so you are a power pointer. Fundamental.
Gathering now. When me can pick up the gathering.
No man, them don't go someone. When you do a 2020 reading, after you do a 2020 reading now, then we know what kind of energy is around you. And
I see. Why? You can read me up, sir?
Yes, man. I'm glad to give you a compliment if you want now.
Well, go right ahead.
Could you give me a date of birth?
The 27th of the 1st, 1976.
All right. And what's your name? You can give me your first name or your full name.
Donovan Wint.
All right. Greetings, Donovan Wint. The 20 when?
You should forget the 23rd of the 1st, 1976.
All right. So you know Mr. Wint is a man what they call Mouta Massey. a man or a woman have a good for out talk you.
I say see.
You can sell snow to the S. you can talk any girl. You can talk any woman out of the post.
Me, sir.
Yes.
No.
You call me.
Oh. Yes.
Listen. You know my friend. You always have a problem with the females because they always want to rule you.
Oh.
And that is one thing what them never gonna do because you are a born ruler, you're a born leader. my phone is texting up. People are saying people.
Goodness gracious me. What is happening on the Hello Neighbor program tonight?
Mr. Wade.
If
I tell you one lie so far, you can tell me something.
Well, it's been recorded, so I'll play it back and listen to it tonight.
All right, now, we don't done it. Now, with you now, Mr. Wade, now, you are always the one who's giving and not receiving. So you come like a Santa Claus.
Oh my God.
Everybody come to you and all when you say, nah, give them, you see that end up and give them. Too weak and too soft. And you're someone, boy, you care for the poor, you care for the needy. I don't know, you don't put philanthropist by your name. There's a man who will give you the shirt off for you.
Well, let me take off this one here now. Who wants it?
No, girl, if I'm telling a lie, you can't tell me something.
Well, sir, it's been recorded. This is fascinating stuff here.
So in the courthouse, silent need consent.
Yeah.
I'm good so far. Now, what happened now, Chief Wit, now, you're a man now, you're always stargazing. Your mind is always all over the place. You're always wondering what to do next. You're not where you're supposed to be.
Oh?
You're supposed to be far away in life.
And what are you saying to me?
Yes.
I want to hold me back. What is holding me back, sir?
Wait. People, fundamentally speaking, no joke intended. You're always being held back.
Oh my God.
From long time, Chief Wind, you're not where you're supposed to be.
Well.
People always are trying to stop you, my lord.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how they get ready already.
Well.
You have a look sharp lady around now. She's well sexy. She's the one, I don't know for your grandmother or your grandaunt, but she's the one who's guiding you.
Well.
And then different from that. Now, Mr. Whitman, this same thing that I am doing too, it's also your call. You're always a part of the party.
Me, sir?
Yes, my lord. Anyway, you go, my lord, you take over. Anyway, you don't take over unless you don't want to take over. So you always end up to be a ruler and the stock. If trouble get them, so you start the trouble.
What? Oh my God.
You, my lord, yes, my lord. What
L.A. Lewis, I tell you something. I broke. You can give me the lotto number, sir. I write it down.
I don't read them, my lord.
Oh, I want the lotto number.
No, just listen, man. Lotto is owned by, Lotto is controlled by De Lawrence. So if you're going to win the Lotto now, they're going to make a big giant table for that.
I see.
Because who run the Lotto now is the Thomas Dillon who they run the Lotto. They control all lottery. So you go win one man, no, the Lotto is win by who them want to win it. If you want to win the Lotto now, yes, you can win it spiritually, but you have to set a big giant table to do that.
Yes. Well, boy, fascinating stuff, my brother.
Yes, man. And different from that now, the pain the way you got in your back, where lick you along now, it come. That pain now, you want to get a thing called olive oil and get a thing called peppermint oil, mix them together, call upon a god named Nayankepong and a god named Gaia, that are the female god of the
What you saying to me?
Yes, man. When you call upon those gods now,
Uh-huh.
you just consecrate the olive oil several times with those gods' name. You understand? And when you use it for your back, you go find out say you go feel pain. You say up on the top part and the back part, then them pain them come a years everybody my lord. You understand? So those are got to be relief from you. You're not sleeping too good at night time, lad. 3-4 times you wake up from one.
What you saying to me?
Boy, you're supposed to sleep on. Boy, oh, you know them thing there.
Uh-huh.
That one I really know them thing there.
I
So
see.
different from that, my lad. Your love life, my lad, is not so great, my lad. You always ups and downs. The woman them just listen to you for once.
My love life, not so great.
No, not so great, my lad.
Uh-huh. Wow. What one day? Did I get born?
No, and a bunny I get, my lad. Every woman we talk to over the years, my lad, they're not listening to you.
Uh-huh.
Like, yes, my lad, them always are ruling, my lad.
When we hear that? Oh, God.
If I lie, they tell me a million. And them always say you chat too much, you go and know everything.
I see.
And I know you know everything, my lad, but you're a mind, you're a stalwart, you're a reader, you're a motivator, but they don't understand that part. As because of my lad, you're not where you're supposed to be, my lad. And the financial thing, my lad, you know, broken, my lad. But every time you try something in life, the real, my lad, it pop right down.
And what you saying to me?
I'm going to normality, my lad. So your business, what you do, my lad, not where they're supposed to be.
Yes.
And you know that, my lad. And I ask you,
I tell you something, Mr. Lewis. You're gonna have to give me your number, and I'm gonna have to call you personally and privately.
yes, my
Because
lad,
you see that love life thing there, sir. I take it
Yes.
I take it serious. Sir.
And you're a Capricorn, my lad. So Capricorn, my lad, the ruler for your mouth, you're the Heinz leg, my lad.
Yes, sir.
So, and anybody have you as a good friend, have the best friend in the world.
That's true.
Anybody have you as a friend, my
Yeah.
lad, have the best friend in the world.
Yes.
They will go far and beyond for everybody, but one fall to them, my lad. Nobody now go far and beyond for you, my lad.
Uh-huh. They now go far and beyond for me.
No, if I lie, better, they can't tell me so I lie.
Oh my God! Well, you know, my listeners could not go far and behind for me. Empire. Listen, you are onto something there, sir. You gonna give me your number and let me call you off the air, man.
Yeah, man, 1876.
Hold on. Let's take it. So we don't. Let's go right here and find that. Go ahead with it, Empire.
Yeah, 1876.
876. Lots of people taking your number. Go ahead.
77
77
345
345
94.
94.
You can repeat it.
That's 876 773 4594.
Yes, and my office number is because sometimes I might in a session or I might in a meeting.
Yes.
So my office number is 669
669
33
33
30.
30. That's 669 33 30.
Yeah, and the area code is 876.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
man. And before we're done the reading, my lord, last but not least, I am begging you for this year, pay some attention to yourself, my lord.
Yes.
And I'm not running no joke because you've been paying attention to everybody over the years, my lord, and not paying attention to yourself.
Yes, sir.
Them call you mean that year, my lord, because you got about 8 or 6 more months left. Make them call you mean, make them call it say you get you care for yourself, but my lord, may I beg you please, for once in your life, pay attention to yourself.
Yes, sir.
You're not doing it, my lord. You're not doing it. I'm feel if you're the side of me right now, my lord, would I hug you, my lord. You're one of the loneliest man, my lord.
Oh my God, you'd hug me, sir.
Yeah, man, I'm brotherly hug, man, because you were going on, my lord. You cry for the weep. You don't know what you do, my lord. If people ever know, people are not running a joke. If you don't ever know who's this man, yeah, it might rough when it come out to journalism, you know. But if you don't ever know who's this man, people, only give Pierre Rose and Pierre.
No man, you said century and a half $1 billion. We deserve it more than the pay.
No, man.
Eh?
If them know who is, my lord, man.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's it, no, man. But
Yeah.
there's a good note, and then the joke in the program, me better say, me tell you one lie, you can't tell me, say, yo, one lie, man, tell them to come up on program.
Yes.
And then, when you come to my office, you will say, I pay big Benz, and I can have car down my office. And then people in our eye for come to the spiritual world.
Okay, you have to go send 2 lions to the program, you know, sir.
Anytime you're ready, man, don't worry yourself. No, you are going now. Usually, I don't send the lion them anything again, because when you send the lion them now, TikTok take.
No worry about TikTok as the business work.
No, man.
No worry about that. As how business work. That what
No, man, that is where I tell you, I'm a famous blogger. I make millions of dollars for blogging, so I teach my teacher. You see, when you have your PayPal or one of them things now, you make people send contribution to your PayPal, because when TikTok take over half of the money, then PayPal again take a percentage out of it, and then them draw tax. So you end up out of the liar, they end up get sometime look a bit at nothing. But enough people don't know. But when they get 10 lion and 20 lion, it count up. So that's how we do it. So what would they know? How we make money off a TikTok?
Well, I tell you something. There's a Zelle account and there's a Cash App and there's also PayPal.
Thank you, dear son. So dear son now, you tell all of your followers now, say listen me. They don't know say the channel have to go and we should lie and tell, you know say the internet have a peer and those things.
That's right.
And then use a man now. So you tell them, so if I have your real loyal fans now, them send something to your Zelle and send something to your PayPal.
Yes.
And send that for gift. So it's like charity because you provide a service.
That's true.
You understand? So I said, my lad, ask anybody. I am one of the first man who make millions of dollars for social media.
Wow.
I'm the god of social media.
Well, yeah, man. Well, it was nice talking to you, though.
Yes, man. So big up yourself, my lad. And what may I tell you now, my lad, for that era, pay attention to yourself, my lad.
I see.
Because I don't say you get selfish, but I'm selfish. Because at the end of the day, my lad, you see when you grow old, my lad.
Moderator, put up my Zelle account there and my Cash App, no? Because.
Thank you, moderator. No, I'm not joking, man.
Yeah.
So it's not a contribution.
But I'm willing to give it to him.
Okay. She will give it to you, sir.
Is he going to contribute to it?
No, man, I'm a contributor, darling. Ask anybody. You can just type in my name on Google and say I'm the contributor. I like to give. Yes,
I'm asking you to contribute now to the Zelle.
No, that's why I'm telling you, darling. Say, I am the one who's telling the host what to do. So you don't have to worry. Everybody who's on the program who know me, they will tell me, say, you don't have to tell me. I mean, Mr. Giveaway. So, Mr. Moderator is also Mr. Giveaway, but how did you begin for a bigger level of it?
Well, you think, yes. Okay, yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But Mr. Moderator, you want me to tell you, my brother, you're a Capricorn, you're a Naphtali, you're Einstein, you're a giver. You understand? When you're not giving goodly words, you're giving to charity, and you're always there pouring out your heart. So, what you do now, you set up your charity program for your show, and you can start a t-shirt line now, because I think you're at 30-something thousand. How much funds that you have now? 30-something thousand funds you have?
I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think you got something like that you have. Yes, and no, you got 4,000 followers, so you're still young. So when you interview popular, famous people like we know, our fans them now come over and follow you because me have 100,000 people follow me. So what you do, you try to make a moderator now because she's like your promotional manager. She's a PR. So she look for all of the famous people them and invite them over your program. You know, so look how chatting and look how back and forth go on. But that is all about social media. So when your fan base big, build bigger now, I build a lot of program. If you have me as a guest, at least 4 times or 5 times for the month, it build your things. It build an algorithm. So when you have the people who have 100,000, 90,000, and the people who have 60,000, the least follow you, it build your algorithm fast. So you find out that even after the show here, you say tomorrow, you see 30 or 40 more people follow your page. So I'm teaching you how to build it because what you're doing now, and just make, you know, I'm January 14th. So me, you're 2 January person. You understand? I even notice you have the big foreign like minds, so we are 2 leaders.
Okay.
Always leader. Empress Lassie, Nadia of the Maroon, Queen Elizabeth, King Charles. Check out all of the big foreign people. Anytime the earth have a rule again, and we the big foreign people, them, the Almighty God always put back to come lead the nation. Check out Sam Shark. Check out all of the big foreign people.
Gotta run, my brother. Gotta run.
All right, we shall have it. Timoshe Manisha.
Gotta run. Have a
Yes.
great night, man. Thank you so much.
All right, my brother.
All right, great. Well, what a surprise. Elaine Lewis, I tell you the truth. Wow, what a night. What a night. TV man, look at that. Gone. TV man must have gone sleep. TV man, are you there?
Neighbor, could you please tell TV man how to unmute, please?
Okay. Could you unmute him? You can unmute. I can unmute. No, I can't. Okay.
I'll just take him down and put him back up.
Oh no. We out of time. By the way, let's TV man.
Yes, please.
TV man. He's on mute. Before he comes in, hurry.
TV man, please unmute your microphone, please.
I'm here, neighbor.
What a fascinating conversation that was with Mr. Lewis.
Yes. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Fascinating story with LA.
Fascinating, yeah. Fascinating stuff.
Yes. I never have laughed my belly at the man.
Well, yeah, it was a most interesting.
LA going to the 3.5 million, sir.
Well, I think so.
You're in luck, man.
Well,
We give away man.
yes.
Mr. Giveaway come cross you, sir. You're in luck.
Can you imagine, man?
Hey, the thing about it, sometimes I hear the amount of money in giveaway, you know what I'm saying? I guess you might put them in the wrong hands. Maybe that's why we have so much more people still left back. What do you think, neighbor? We
Boy.
think some of these money that ain't giving away going in the wrong hands.
Yes.
The PMP hand.
Yes.
If you give the PMP, you see what the PMP telling lie?
Yes.
One person gives them nearly 400,000.
Yeah, oh well.
How much money is that for? 400 US?
No, 400,000 Jamaican.
400,000 Jamaican dollar. And out of 400, you say you get 3 million Jamaican dollar. So you have to tell me that means that 5 people give you money, then are 6 people.
Yeah, well, very, 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 very strange, sir.
It's strange.
Very, very strange. Very, very strange.
So we hear somebody else call and say they might give them 500. And we know they can.
What an interesting place Jamaica is, sir. What an interesting place.
Money I give left, right, and center, sir.
What an interesting place Jamaica is.
Hey, neighbor, what are the things I want to talk about? You ever can get these taxi association people on your show?
Well, we're working on it, you know, sir. We're working on as much of that as possible. But that's a good suggestion, eh?
Because I'm doing a math. I've been seeing something, I've been noticing something, especially in the price right area. There are some extortion that's taking place with our taxi man. Not only just there alone. Because I travel all over and I see some things. Then I sit down in the vehicle and watching it taking place and fall in front of me. I know of people died out here because of the same thing at the supermarket, there beside the supermarket. And neighbor, I see some people come out here. What they call them, Ja? What they call them? Ja Association. What they name what?
Jatu.
That one other one. They say they are association and they want hike fare and razor fare. Neighbor, these taxi men are getting razor fare.
No, why you say that? Because I can't agree with you on that, because they have to be absorbing.
I will tell you. No, I'm going to tell you why I said that. I'm going to tell you why I said that. I know people eyebrow raise when me say that, especially taxi man. But they're not getting a razor fare in that case. In the case that I'm looking at, I don't think they need to get any razor fare. You understand what I'm saying? All right, listen to my point on that, why I'm saying that. These taxi man, every trip they make, they come, they give extortionists $100. So if you make 50 trips a day, you must give 50 $100.
Yeah, that's $5,000.
Good.
Well, they don't make so much trips per day.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. And if him go down to half a tree, he have to give another $100. So every angle in go, every direction in go, he give $100.
Yes.
And he come back, he give $100. So if you give away 10,000 for the day, for the week, it's 50,000. It's 50,000 of that.
But where did that come from, sir? This whole matter of extortioning. Huh?
I've seen it to the neighbor. I know about it and I see it. And I used to be in taxi thing,
Yes.
It never reached me. I never give people my money to spend it for me. Especially people who don't even know to spend money. And spend it on the wrong thing. Now look at this now. The same gunman when they feed and extortion and bad man have gone to them, that them giving this money to. They're just giving the gunman the money to buy a bullet for them. More bullets, more guns for them.
Yes.
The moment you don't pay, one of those bullets are yours. So you buy your good bullet and put down. Automatically you buy your good bullet and put down. Because you're feeding that man on the street, because you make him drive fear in you without you drive fear in him, or without you do the right thing. Then the association people them that they paid. They don't come out and work with the police as far as them can. I would love to ask them some questions. But it don't seem like they come out and pay attention to the taxi man them, so that they can get some cover, so that they can get some sense of guidance. They can get some sense of attention from the law, the way that they should be getting that attention from the law. All these associations come out to this, pressure the government to give more money. Take more money from the public to give those taxi men. And when you take more money from the government to give those from the public to give those taxi men, the taxi man take more money. Because each time the taxi fare raise, the extortion receive the fare. The extortion is one more, and then get more. So only one person benefit of the extortion is. You understand what I'm saying to you? You see where we're going with this?
I am following you.
The only person who benefits is the extortionist. And the only person who lose is the public and the taxi man. The moment the taxi man can't pay, then him lose his life. You understand? So, the association collect and dash you out there and left you by your own. Then he come, tell the government we want more money for you. But not really you. As you save that money that you have paid the taxi, that you have paid the extortionist, you don't need a razor fare.
Very true. Very true. TV man, I must tell you that I'm running out of time. You hear stuff, so I'm gonna have to get in touch with you tomorrow.
Yes.
Because my time is gone.
I really want you to get one of them on your program because I really want
get one for me, the man. Get one for me.
I
You said you were into the taxi matter.
Yes.
Well, when you come back tomorrow, I'll talk to you a little bit about that industry.
Yeah, man, we need to talk about these industry, man.
Absolutely.
This industry really
Absolutely correct.
we have to spread the wingspan every topic where people need to understand what's going on in the country
Yes.
and how people are losing.
I have lots to talk about tomorrow, but I have to be back here at 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna have to go and I need to get my my people off. Yeah. God bless you. Take care of yourself. Harry, he's still here with me. Member Harry?
I'm here, Chief.
What? Member Harry, I'm sorry, sir. I should have make you get your own read up.
No, my lord, I'm good.
You don't have the love life problem.
No, yeah,
Oh,
I'm
God.
perfectly fine.
And you're back all right?
My back perfectly fine, neighbor.
I am in the reading thing too, Harry.
Neighbor, we not reading thing.
What is your date of birth? You give me your date of birth.
Neighbor, I started losing brain cells, you know. I started getting a headache. It is one thing I'll admit to.
Yeah.
When I grew up, I'd love to have that level of confidence. It's a delusional confidence.
He's absolutely confident. He's full of himself. He knows exactly what he's talking about. I tell you, I've never had it this good. It's a fantastic gentleman. He's out of this world.
Neighbor,
He's out of this world.
I never thought I would have lived to see somebody who can speak foolishness more confidently than Omar Davis.
Oh yes, have you ever heard him on the Breakfast Club?
Neighbor, regular. It was the one thing I admire about him, and it's sad, you know.
Yeah, when you hear Omar Davis talking about negative growth, waxing on the Breakfast Club, my God, he used to be so pompous and confident. What a man!
And it's a mental disorder, and a neighbor. With all due respect to persons who may suffer from various things, but it speaks to the fact that he believes what is coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, yes. He was a delusional man. The man came up with a term called negative growth. And you couldn't tell Omar say he wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread, sir.
Neighbor.
Even when Jamaica was falling apart, Omar was there. And I tell you something.
It's why I'm issuing a notice, neighbor, or an alert to Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton. Please, sir, don't let a morning pass. When you go on your morning jog, just jog off Elliot Lewis. I think Bellevue is a very good home to help rehabilitate persons like him. In all honesty, neighbor, and with all due respect as well, we can't have these things of our own, neighbor. It would be unbecoming of Jamaica, in all honesty.
Well, sir, the wheat and the tares grow together until harvest. Harvest does the separation.
This one stick out like a sore thumb, man. We don't have to wait till the day of harvest.
Yeah. Well, see it for the comical value. Provides good comic relief. Yeah.
And I can tell you, if you ask him what was he saying, he can't follow one story what I'm saying.
May not even know himself, eh? Wow. Anyway, why Harry? It's 24 minutes to 11 o'clock, and we have to wrap. You hear? So yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but just want to let your listeners know that we will be back here tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Tomorrow's Wednesday, neighbor.
Oh my goodness! I keep forgetting that that today is not Tuesday. Oh my gosh! Yes, we will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. in the evening. Oh, well, my lord. Thank you so much.
Who's that?
Caroline. Oh, by the way, no. You are a wonderful person, Caroline. Believe me. You hear Elena was talking about people. One of that you can tell my listeners that one of the better person I've met in my life is Caroline. She is a wonderful lady. I
Give her a reading, neighbor.
No, I'm good.
You're backing away from it. No, you have
Not interested, please.
no. God has blessed me with a fantastic moderator, and I appreciate you wholeheartedly, my dear. I know I give you problems and I'm hard to manage, but you are one of the realest person I've ever met in my life. A real woman, real woman. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, neighbor.
Yeah, you have been.
We appreciate you just the same. Okay?
Well, yeah, well, and every day that I come here, I know my listeners need to know that you keep me going, and you are the wind beneath my wings on this Politics Plus program here. Whatever happens to me in life, my dear sister, stand with me, okay?
I'm promising that neighbor.
You don't think your shirt off of your back.
She can't promise me that. All right, Caroline, I'm just pulling your legs. You have a wonderful family, and but you love your politics. You're a real woman, man. You're a real woman. Blueberry says LA Lou is doing it. By the way, my friends over on YouTube, have a great night. You hear? Take good care of yourself. Shafreen, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shafreen. Okay, I'm not so.